Let's make sure that this is in full screen. Make sure I'm setting the resolution to, what do we need? 1920 by 1080? Yep, let's do that. All right, so we should be good to go. Hey, you guys. So I'm doing a YouTube live Q&A. Want to go ahead and try and get started here. This is starting now. This is starting at 7:50 Eastern Standard Time. So I want to give you guys 3 minutes to share this out in social media with friends. You can share this out in Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want. That's what we're going to do. Had to get some stuff set up here so that we can have everything in full screen mode. Let's see. Everything should be online according to what I'm seeing. So definitely looking forward to this. Make sure you guys are sharing it out. Really appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to try and take as many questions as possible. Let's go ahead and get as many people into the live stream as we can so that they can enjoy the live stream and get their answers to their questions, because I think that's going to be most helpful. I want to try and do small YouTuber Q&A. The audio should be fine. You guys shouldn't be hearing a lot of feedback. Let me see if I can do anything about that. Hang on. Is anybody else still getting an echo? And if you are getting an echo, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how bad it is. Really? There's a lot of echo? So let's see. Is there, like, on a scale of 1 to 10? All right, let me try and see what I can do about the echo for you guys. Hang on. Maybe headphones will deal with the echo. Let's see if that works. All right, what about now? How is the echo now? Let's see. All right, let's see if there's an echo now. I am reading the comments. It's just that I had to try and fix the microphone stuff for you guys. Is the audio working better now or no? Because it could just be the live streaming. There's a delay with the audio. Oh, mute the speakers. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, what about now? Okay, so if I mute the speakers, is it working for you guys now? All right, so now, not echo, but reverb. Okay, well, the reverb is just the room being, what it is. Yeah, the room is just probably a little loud. Maybe it's the mic gain from the mixer, but it's probably most likely just the difference in live streaming versus doing recorded video. So that's probably just what it's going to be. But as long as you guys are hearing it loud and clear, that's the main thing that I want to focus on. So let's see. Let's see what some of these questions were. I'm just going to try and go back to some of the questions just because of us trying to get the audio up and running. So let's see. Should you set a goal on YouTube? I would say you should set a goal based not on views and subscriber counts initially. Your first year to 2 years of YouTube, the goal should be about making the kind of content that you want, getting your video editing and your video production to a place where you're comfortable with, is what I would say, because the subscribers will all come from that. So I'd say it's about making a good product. And I would also say that for some of you, instead of doing like one-off content, some of you should do a show. I think that the thing that will make you stand out the most is if you do a show. Let's see. Audio, more audio stuff, more audio. When did you start blowing up? No idea. I'm not sure because I don't consider myself as blowing up. There are plenty of people who get much more sub counts, but for an education channel, I say I do okay. Also, that's what I would say. How do you make a YouTube channel? Reference type that into YouTube. How do you make a YouTube channel? And you'll definitely get an answer. I also want to make sure I'm answering questions I haven't already answered before in previous videos. A lot of people have subscriber goals. I think views are more important. Views can be, but also people overrate views as a measure of how good their video was. and your video is only as good as your video is. There are videos that people shoot with their smartphone app. It's, God forbid, a traffic accident or something like that. That could get a ton of views. That doesn't mean it was a good video. It just means it was a video that people were interested in, and there is a difference. So the main thing I would say is just focus on the quality of making a good video. Yeah, my office is pretty roomy, so that's the difference between doing something live versus with broadcast on audio versus if I do something recorded. I'd also say that it might be the fact that I'm using the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 versus something more expensive like a Blue Yeti or a Rode Podcaster. If I spent $200 on a microphone, it might be a little better. I started doing weekly. We got a question. So Mr. King 67 asked, when did you start doing YouTube? I started doing YouTube aside from just uploading randomly once every 2 years in July of 2013, so about 3 years ago. Do you have one video that seemed to bring in a lot of subs? Yeah, I think my how to get your first 100 subscribers on YouTube video did that. I think I made that video when I had 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers, something like that. I also think my more recent video 2 months ago on 10 small YouTuber problems brought in a lot of subscribers, but also a lot of my content is around graphic design on Mondays. So with the graphic design and art stuff, there's a lot of different videos that brought in subscribers, like my 5 things you don't learn in graphic design school. The audience of people in YouTube that are going to college soon or are in college and are thinking about whether or not it's the right path for them is a lot. So that video really spoke to a lot of people. It's one of the most watched videos I have on the channel, and so that brought a lot of subscribers. And I think also my laptop review series, that brings in a lot of people too, because there are a lot of people who don't know how to shop for a laptop for the first time, or they want a laptop for video editing, which I have a new video coming out about that for 2016, about some new laptops that are out and some things that I want to remind people about what they need to edit video. So that brought in a lot of subscribers. Let's see. Elite Studio says, hey, Roberto, one question. How do you think I can get people to like me for me? I want people to watch me for personality. Great question. This is something I had to think about for myself. It's that you have to just be who you are and understand that there may be a ceiling to how many people like, who you are. Not everybody is for everybody, and that's okay. There are a lot of people, and it's very unfortunate that they do their YouTube channels, they focus on being liked, and sometimes they build a business on being liked, but then they grow up or they change, and then it's different. We've seen a lot of YouTubers, for example, that were in a relationship and they do vlogging or something like that, but what happens when they break up? The fans were there for the relationship and for the love interest and the romance, and if those two people break up, then their popularity and their channel, and if they were made a business out of it, that could suffer. But at the same time, they shouldn't want to be in a relationship or, God forbid, a marriage just to maintain their audience. But we see that happening sometimes, and now people are coming out about it. Or there are people who they didn't want to do a certain type of content, but it's what their audience wanted. They grew up and their audience didn't respect that or didn't like it, and so then they go away. So that changes. Sometimes your life changes. Like Chris Perillo is a great YouTuber, and he's been around forever. He started doing mostly tech, but then he got a family, and so his life didn't revolve nearly as much around tech, and there are a lot of people who have the expectation they should only do tech videos, but now he's more of a family vlogger that does tech videos on occasion, and not everybody's okay with that. So you just have to understand that that's just the way it works. In YouTube, what matters most, subs or views? This is from Elegant Rosie. Great question, Rosie. For the YouTube algorithm for ranking in search, watch time matters more than views or subscribers. If you're trying to prove like validity in YouTube, a lot of people respect subscriber count, but a lot of people respect view count. Sponsors tend to respect a balance of both. So if you're trying to make money, views matter more for money, for AdSense revenue, and they matter more for proving to a sponsor that you can get them views because that's what they care about. Subscriber count can start that conversation. So subscriber count could be social proof, I look at it as community for me because I'm doing a how-to and an education channel. Well, I'm an educator, so that means that my videos mean that those are people who were served. So I count it for that. But I also know for views, my view to subscriber ratio is really low because I make videos for one person. So like I make videos, like I did a video that I put out yesterday that's for the Adobe Premiere Pro warp stabilizer effect for people who are doing handheld footage with their video. Like if you have like a camcorder or something like that and the footage is a little shaky, you can smooth it out with Adobe Premiere. So I put out a tutorial on that. That tutorial is not going to get 100,000, 150,000 views. That tutorial might only get 2,000 or 3,000 views, but it might get more over time because not everyone uses Premiere Pro to edit their videos, and not everybody is doing things that might be considered like shaky cam or not smooth, and so they may not need that tutorial. So that 5-minute video, it might get a ton of views, it might not. I make all of my videos to solve one problem for a group of people, so I know that not everyone in my audience is going to watch it. You guys are tuning in for YouTube Q&A. Most of you probably don't watch my Monday graphic design videos. You probably watch some of my Tuesday tech videos if it's equipment that you think you might need, like laptops. Some of you don't watch my photography and filmmaking videos on Wednesday, but if you're YouTubers, you probably should watch my Wednesday videos because you'll learn how to, do your video equipment, how to do your audio stuff, so that's probably a good idea. But not all of you will watch Thursday's videos, which is like software stuff, because maybe you don't own that piece of software. So, the views to subscriber thing is always really weird, but that, it just depends on your channel, it depends on your audience, and it depends on your niche. And so I would say that views probably overall, because of the money tied to views, is the thing you should be more concerned about, and subscribers will come from views. Xena Jam asked, question, in the start, is it wiser to go deeper in the niche or to broaden the audience? You're currently struggling with this dilemma. Great question, Z. I would say you should maybe consider starting with a niche if it's something that you know and you're very confident in and you're very good at. If for no other reason, for you to figure out and find your voice and your rhythm and to have some consistency and to build up a fast track for making a lot of content, I would say that that's probably the right thing. JK Tech says, I'm a small YouTuber and I have school to juggle. Should I split my content into one live stream, one recorded video every week? If you like live streaming and you're comfortable with it, I would say it's a good option for you to get more content and put yourself out there and to build a community. It could be helpful in that way. But I would say don't let YouTube be a distraction to school. YouTube is always going to be here, but there might be things that school lets you do in terms of your future that could be really helpful. And if you are too distracted there and you're stressing about YouTube, you can end up messing up something that could affect your future. So I'd say just find your balance. Moderation in everything, dude. Moderation in everything. Let's see. We got... What's this question? Sorry, so you guys are asking so many questions, it's hard to keep up a little bit. Let's see. What kept you going with your channel? I love what I do. That's what keeps me going with my channel. Roberto, do you have any tips for making it interesting and entertaining commentary? Find and identify something that there's a lot of passion behind or is very important to do engaging commentary. Sometimes it can be stuff that's relevant in the news or in the media or that's going on, or a thing that's a big enough topic or an issue that there's a community around, whether it's something in pop culture or whether it's something serious, like, I hate to go dark, but maybe something serious is like maybe depression, or if there's a personal struggle that you think that a lot of people might have, that could be interesting commentary. But if you want it to be more entertaining, entertaining is going to be a matter of what's fun right now, what's interesting right now. So it's going to be news and it's going to be pop culture, and it's going to be that. Jaegerbomb asks, how do you manage YouTube as a job? What's your most income of your channel, if you may ask? I don't believe in YouTube as a job. I know that's super controversial for some people. Quote me on this. You guys can meme this. I 120% do not believe in YouTube as a job, and I refuse to accept YouTube as a job However, I think it can be a lucrative business. I think thinking of YouTube as a job is a mistake. You are not an employee of Google. You are not an employee of YouTube. I've been an employee in the corporate world. I've been an employee in retail. I've been employed. Look, like employment, being very real here, not always a great situation, kind of sucks sometimes, but employment means that there's steady, reliable income. Often there's benefits, and you have an employer that you're answerable to, and you have very specific guidelines in what your job duties and tasks are. That sounds nothing like running a YouTube channel. Running a YouTube channel is chaos and uncertainty and no guarantees of anything and absolutely no security, financially or otherwise. And thus, it's not a job. It's closer to a business. It's much closer to a small business and to entrepreneurship than anything. More than that, it's closer to being a performer or actor, which is not a job. It is a skill. It is a trade, if anything. So it's a trade, not a job, or at least it's a business. So if you approach it as a business or a trade in the way that a mechanic that doesn't, work for a shop and is out there on their own, or a freelance journalist, or a freelance photographer, or a freelance artist, or an independent filmmaker, these things are more aligned to what a YouTube channel is and what a YouTube brand is. That is not a job. A job is a very specific thing, and so I need us to get away. Personally, this is me personally as a business person. I want us to get away from calling YouTube a job, period. Every time someone says, I want to make YouTube my job, I kind of want to hit them. Like, not really, but jokingly. But, like, that's how I feel about it, is YouTube, from a tax standpoint, you file a 1099, not a W-2. That is a big distinction between something being your job and something being either freelance or being a business, is the tax structure and the legal structure. And so I refuse. I think it's a young thing for people to call YouTube a job. So my answer to it is, if you learn how to run or manage a startup business or what entrepreneurship looks like, that's what YouTube looks like and how you manage it. A lot of people fail because they give up. Yes, absolutely. The Legend Mac, that's true. Redneck Crocodile asks, what helped you the first time to get a lot of views and subscribers? I have no idea because I wasn't paying attention. The first 8 months of doing weekly content, I was not paying attention to the views and subscriber count because I didn't feel like it mattered. I come from a background as an artist and a photographer and a videographer, which means that what I was obsessing over was I was obsessing over camera stuff. I was obsessing over audio stuff. I was obsessing over my ums and hums and my performance. I was nitpicking at my actual work. I wasn't looking at views and subscribers. And so to this day, I have no idea when I hit my first 1,000 subscribers. No idea. No idea when I hit my first 100. No idea when I hit my first 500. I have no idea to this day, because that's not what my focus was. I was just trying to make each video suck less than the previous video before, because as a creative pro, that's the only grading scale we have, is, are we satisfied with the work we did? Ask any photographer or any illustrator, and it's not about how many likes or Instagram things. It's about, man, my colors were off in that thing. Man, those lines aren't straight. I just erase. That's what we're about, creatives. So creatives are different in that way, and so that's where I came from on it. Good question, though. How do you deal with spam comments as a small YouTuber? Excellent question. I'm working on a tutorial. I might put it out this weekend as a double upload for YouTuber stuff. And what I'm going to do with that is, it's going to be a tutorial on how to use the YouTube community settings to put in all the bad words from a bad word list, and also to put in words that you personally feel are spammy, like for like and sub for sub and things like that. And then it will automatically send those things to the spam queue, and you will never have to see them. And you can also ban your haters, so that can actually be helpful. Can you help me grow my channel without spamming? The way you grow your channel without spamming is make more content and then promote and distribute it without being spammy. JFlow says, laptop vids got me subscribed. Got a sweet laptop now. Awesome. Would love to know what laptop you got, man. So just let me know, JFlow. Emily Lang, I only have 64 subscribers and don't know how to grow. Emily, make more content and optimize your channel. Look at the things that I've done with the How to Grow Your YouTube Channel review series. I still have, I think, 12 episodes of that I need to release to finish the 30 of 30. I had to redo the audio on all of them, so I just decided to redo them, especially since some of those channels grew. So the next 12 videos will be coming out. I think I'll start that again next week. but there are a lot. I basically covered a different type of YouTube channel through the 18 episodes that I released. So look at that series on my YouTube 30 of 30 series for channel reviews, and I cover every type of channel and my advice to those channels, and that could help you. But also I have literally over 120 videos in a playlist for Fridays of how to grow a YouTube channel. Let's see. Can you share any techniques for coping with doubt? The way you cope with doubt and the way that you guys get motivation, a lot of you are looking for motivation to do, but doing things actually creates motivation. The way you do is you persist. So the thing is, it's through goal achievement. By setting a goal and being consistent and achieving the goal and checking something out, you're hacking your brain. When you can check something off your to-do list, you're hacking your brain, and that's what's going to keep you motivated. And the thing is, you shouldn't put it onto something fickle like subscriber count or view count, because you can't control that. What you can control is how much work you do. So if you give yourself the goal of putting out a video every Wednesday and you stick to that for a month, your brain is going to be like, awesome, I put out a video every Wednesday. If you say, I want to put out 3 videos a week, and a week goes by and you put out 3 videos, your brain's going to be like, yes, we did it. Let's do it again. The brain loves consistency. The brain loves counting small victories. So give yourself the opportunity to make small victories by putting out goals that you control that don't involve other people. You can't control how many people view or subscribe to you. What you can control is how much work you do. And so by making your work the goal, that's how you become successful. That's how you become motivated. That's how you overcome doubt, is by doing. You know, I set myself a goal sometimes that has to do with my fitness, and the thing is, by doing those things, I feel more excited about going to the gym when I made a goal that was within my control, because I earned the right to feel good about myself by doing. So I would just say doing is the answer. Fun with the Bug says, we have so many channels that just want to promote themselves. They comment, watch, like 10 seconds, and kill watch time. Yeah, they do, and that by blocking the promotion stuff, by blocking links in your comment section through the settings, you can get rid of those people, and then it won't affect and impact your watch time negatively, because those people just be like, oh, I can't get anything out of this channel, so they'll stay away. So I think that matters. Lenny D'Amico asks, should you only have one type of content as a creator to establish yourself, or is it better to have a variety? It depends on your goals. It depends on your goals. If you want to be a subject matter expert, sticking to that one subject could be a good thing, and you can build a community that's very specific around that. I wanted to build a community, which I refer to you guys as the Create Awesome community, that brings together a lot of other creators. Filmmakers actually need to work with designers sometimes, and designers need to work with photographers, and YouTube creators need to work with audio production engineers, and sometimes they need to work with writers, or sometimes they need to work with social media people or marketers. And there's not a lot of people who want to bring all these people together. A lot of people like to silo themselves and niche down really hard. I've done all these things in my career. I did photography, working through high school as an assistant wedding photographer through the church I was going to. I grew up illustrating and doing photography, and you guys saw in my video that my uncles taught me all about photography. I fell in love with it as a kid, shooting on film cameras. And so when I got my first computer, I learned to build websites and to code so I could share my illustrations, my sketchbook, and my webcomics, and my photography. And that taught me web design and coding, which led to me learning Photoshop and was my career and what I went to school for. And then I ended up, as a result of all that, learning marketing. So I've done all these, and I was doing video editing for the wedding people too. So I learned all these things. I wanted to do multiple content that was about my personality and wouldn't get me bored. I learned how to do video and photography and do all these things. And then I wanted to share that because I've also been an educator. I was a trainer, in addition to a team leader and a manager over a department. I was manager over 2 departments, both for the web design department, and I was a lead designer at an agency, and then I was a marketing manager. And so I liked teaching the business side of creativity and the career side. I liked demonstrating the actual skill sets. So I had to do variety for me, but also I wanted to build community because I wanted, from a business side, to build a network of people that I could work with and that I could hire, or that I could recommend to my other clients, or that I could get these people to work together and grow their businesses and make more money together, because I needed to teach them that it's not about competition, it's about collaborating and about communicating and about getting the most money by doing it as a team, because that's how agencies work. And so, like, I did what was me. So I would say do you. You gotta, if it niching down works best for your personality and you love something passionately and you won't get bored, then you do it. If you're me, I'm like, I don't have like diagnosed ADHD, but I have compulsive tendencies, and I have some other things in my personality spectrum wise. So I do the things that work for my personality and my brain chemistry. And so my content and my channel and my methods were things that I figured out to make practical around my personality. So that's what I would say you do. You make the thing that you're good at practical. What are you passionate about? Cool. Make that practical and make that serve a purpose for other people. And then you got a formula for success. That's all successful people do. Great question. And again, some of these questions, I will go on to big tangents with them. Does video editing with a GTX 1080 in 2A SLI work better with Premiere or disable SLI? Disable SLI. For video editing and for video rendering, SLI doesn't do anything. That's specific to the way that gaming works. To be able to pull more resources for offsetting CPU and rendering, individual video cards outside of the SLI configuration work better. CJD Vlogs ask, hi, I have a question about monetization. Can I be sued with copyright if you enable monetization? If it's like Warner Brothers or Marvel, maybe, or anything with Viacom, maybe, but usually they stop at a copyright claim or a copyright strike or claiming the monetization on your video. I would steer away from copyrighted material in general. It's a big issue on YouTube, but the thing is, the biggest issue on it is not just that, well, there's a couple of issues. There's false copyright claim among YouTubers, which is an issue. But there is also among YouTubers themselves legitimate copyright claim. Like if I drew something and then somebody re-uploaded my drawing, but they colored it, they still stole my drawing. It doesn't matter that they photoshopped color into it, whereas I might have had it inked in black and white. They still stole from me, right? So if you do a video and then another YouTuber does something with that video, in truth, they kind of did take from you if they didn't get permission, or if it isn't to promote them and get them more views, then that might be truly theft or might be harmful to them. If someone re-uploaded your work, you wouldn't want someone stealing your sketchbook or stealing your photo. In fact, the designers and artists that I talk to in this YouTube channel, one of the things they're most afraid of with building their brand and building their online business is that someone's going to steal their photography or steal their design work and claim it as their own. But that's a real problem for YouTubers too. So the thing is, there's two sides to copyright. Everything isn't fair use. That's a big mistake with YouTubers. They think everything is fair use, but it's not. But then also big companies have a right to protect their brand too. Sometimes it is good for them to get free promotion, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes they have a real problem with that. And sometimes they're trying to do something that you don't know about. And you might think that, oh, well, this is helping them. But it really might not be, because you don't know their business and you didn't ask their permission, or you didn't at least give them a heads up. So it can be bad. So the thing is, YouTubers themselves are partly to blame for copyright, but the big companies could work better with the YouTube community and could create ways that we could do and use things and can create guidelines for us. So I think that could be helpful. But it's a big issue. So I would just avoid using anything that's copyrighted. Should you monetize your account, you get around 150 views per day. When you're getting a few thousand, I would say that monetizing could be better, because you get paid per thousand on average. So, and it's not a lot. It's a few bucks per thousand, usually somewhere between 25 cents and $5 per thousand. So until you're getting 1,000 per day, or a couple thousand per month, it might not make sense to monetize, and it could hold you back from growing because you don't have a lot of content yet. People don't know you, so they might not sit through an ad. They'll sit through an ad once they get to know you and once you put out enough content. It's not even about your subscriber count. It's about how much work you've done to kind of earn that right. So that's kind of where I'd probably go with it. Elegant Rosie, getting more views than subs is okay, and it's actually a good thing. Subscribers come as a result of views. I'd much rather get more views up front than subscribers out of that. I only get like maybe 8,000 to 10,000 new subscribers a month, but I get 500,000 views a month, and only 20% of them are from my existing subscribers. So a lot of that is converting people to being new subscribers. So I would say that's kind of how it would work. Remy asks, good sites for making intros. Animoto, and maybe Adobe Spark. Like, I'm not a big fan of intros, but I'm also a designer and I have motion graphics experience, so I would just make something in After Effects. So right now, I can't recommend you a good site to just make that on your own. You probably would have to hire somebody. So that's what, I would say. Jaegerbomb, I answered this question already. I don't believe YouTube is a job. I believe it can be a business. I don't believe in YouTube as a job. YouTube is not a job. A job gives you a W-2. YouTube, you file your own taxes, a 1099. That's called being a business or being an independent contractor or being a performer. YouTube, I want to reiterate this. YouTube is not a job. In fact, I'm going to put it in the comment section here, in the live comments. YouTube is not a job. It might be a business. But seriously, YouTube is not a job. Can we not call YouTube a job? Let's see. Fair use. Fair use is super tricky. There's almost no real answer for fair use, and it's partly up to the discretion and the mercy of the copyright holder. So I avoid it whenever possible. Roberto, love your videos. How do you balance a full-time job and making videos a day? So I run a full-time business, which means I'm my own boss, which means I set the priority, I set the schedules. I consider YouTube part as marketing. I've taken on a part-time assistant to do grunt work and things they're just paperwork things that I don't want to do. So that definitely helps. So that's a part-time employee. I'm getting ready to hire a virtual assistant. Next year, I'm moving, and when I move, I'm going to have a person that's going to work as a director of photography and a person that's going to work as a video editor for me. So I'm going to have 2 part-time, 3 part-time employees next year when I move. So that's part of how I'm going to manage it. It's going to let me take more business meetings, especially with me traveling more as a public speaker. So the way I do it is I set a schedule, I set priorities, and I shoot batch content. What you guys don't realize is I've shot 2 months worth of YouTube Friday content, and it just needs to be edited. I've literally already shot 8 videos for Fridays. That's done. That takes me 1 day to shoot because I'll do it for 1 hour, and 1 hour means all the Friday videos are done. 1 hour means all the Monday videos are done, etc. So I don't have to do YouTube full time. I do not spend 40 hours a week on my YouTube channel. I doubt I spend 40 hours a month on my YouTube channel. If I spent even 40 hours a month working on my YouTube channel, I could put out maybe 2 to 3 videos every single day. I'm not even kidding. And that's not a modest brag. That's just to tell you the model of efficiency and what it looks like. But I also am a really good video editor, and you guys know my content is between 5 and 15 minutes, which means my editing time per video is 15 to 30 minutes for me, editing time majority of the time. And once I start hiring that second video editor, I'll just be able to make more content and focus on production and shooting video. I'll have someone following me around with a camera to do a lot more of my motivational and business content, and to do the short film series that I want to do around motivation, to promote my upcoming self-help book, the Just Create Awesome book, which is about all the barriers to creative success and how to break through them. It's about building a successful mindset. And it's also going to share stories. So I'll be able to do that like series, which is kind of a documentary, because I'll have somebody filming me. And so my answer is I do it because it's a business decision. So I can manage daily content because I built a system to do it. And it's called, I take an hour to shoot things, and then I edit in bulk and I shoot in bulk, and that's how I do it. Great questions, but there's so many questions that's, again, hard to keep up with them. You need to know how to get paid by monetizing your videos. Reference my video on how to monetize a YouTube channel. How do you get people to subscribe when your videos are tutorial based? So Ginger Candy, you get more people to subscribe to tutorial based video content by making more tutorials and by optimizing in search. But also in the videos, somewhere you should ask for a subscription in the video, like toward the end, if they enjoyed it and if they want more from you. Roberto, I love how you said, Be a Man says, Roberto, I love how you said to think of every view as an actual person in a video. Absolutely. Public speaking is something that really puts that in perspective. If you guys think that like 50 or 100 views is not a lot of people, speaking a room on a stage sometime in front of 50 or 100 people, and you see how much it really is. Like, that's what sometimes putting my stage talk videos up, you guys don't realize it, but like there sometimes are like 1,000 to 2,000 people in those rooms, and I like have the videos. I don't think you can see from the angle that I'm shooting those while I'm talking on stage videos. I need to probably get a second camera angle so you guys can see the people. But like that's a ton of people, but yet I'll find out that it's 500 people or 1,000 or 2,000 people, but it's a whole auditorium. So when you think about your views on YouTube, and then you think about what a room full of 100 people looks like, you take it very differently, and so that matters. Elite Studio says, I understand you're not a games channel, but I play one main game and I want to do other games. While I play other games and upload them to my channel, they don't do as good. How can you slowly transition? My answer, Elite Studio, is just to do the videos that you love and that you want to do, and don't worry about it, and eventually either people will watch them or they won't, but do what you want. Do the content that you want, and I would say don't worry about getting big on YouTube if you're going to do gaming, because the only way I can see doing gaming and growing on YouTube doing gaming today is to do a show, or to reverse engineer what a gaming magazine does and do a show, or do something unique and different. The best way to do something or to be successful in a saturated niche is to do something that people have never done. Casey Neistat actually did that because he changed the entire paradigm of vlogging. So that's how he blew up. He changed the game. Because when he was doing stuff the way he was doing it before, he grew slow, like he said. He said that he grew more in the last 2 years than the last 5. And that's true. So what did he do? He changed the game. That's what he did. So I'd say that matters. Fun with Bugs says, Casey Neistat says that that equipment means nothing. Your content story is everything. I agree with him, but I disagree with Casey Neistat on this, because I understand the point he's trying to make, and he's trying to make sure that people aren't discouraged by not having the right equipment and the right tools. But here's the thing. It depends on your skill and ability and story, because the thing is, you may not be a good storyteller, and so you may not be able to pull off low-res content. But if you have really high-res content or really great effects or something, you might be able to make up for your lack of gravitas or your lack of being a personality or something like that based on production. Production can outrank you. Like, it's a matter of you play to your strengths. If you're a good storyteller, you can pull out a cell phone and you can do this. I'm an educator and I'm good at giving really good content and information and resources, which means that if I do a video on my smartphone, which I often do for the Dear Entrepreneurs vlog series, which, by the way, that's not going away. I have some that I just need to upload for you guys, and I need to just do it more often. I need to make myself a priority to do it once or twice a week. But the point is, when I do stuff from my smartphone and when I'm traveling, you guys still accept it as the quality content that it is, even if the video quality is different. And the weird thing is, this iPhone's video quality is almost as good as my DSLR in some cases, and in some cases it's better. So I agree with him that equipment doesn't matter, but it depends on what the goal is, and it depends on what your strengths are. So I'd say that that matters. Besides a good title, how many tags will get you noticed? It doesn't matter if the tags aren't things people care about. So there's no magic formula. That's not a number answer. There's no magic answer for that. BF Williams Jr. asks, any advice on how to market your student athlete just trying to cut through the noise? Oh, dude, if you have a student athlete thing, make motivational films and use the footage of working out and training and running and all that stuff. Make it a Nike commercial, for Christ's sakes. Like, that will blow up, and make sure it looks really good, and do stuff with slow-mo and time-lapse, and just make it a production. Make it cool. Make it a film. Like, make it a 5-minute motivational film and use that for the marketing part, and then make the content that's like normal, make that something else, but use these big production style thingies, and you could do it with your smartphone, and it could be really cool to make that interesting and make it marketing. So I would do that. Chewbacca asks, should I make my ads always be 30-second ads? I don't know. You tell me. What's the goal? What's the reasoning? Let's see. Fireblade Pilot. I have a moto vlog channel and I live in Hawaii. I've been stuck at 215 subs for a while. Any tips for moto vloggers? Dude, you have something super interesting. First of all, you should have the best thumbnails in the world. You're doing moto vlogging. You should have the best thumbnails in the world. So make sure you're taking photos with like a good camera, and maybe that helps you attract interest. Make some titles that you think are even just a little bit clickbaity, but you have something really cool. And maybe open with B-roll footage that's really cool, and something with like the motorcycle revving up or taking off, or like some like stuff shot with a GoPro from the perspective of the road or something like that. Opening with that stuff's interesting and it gets people really cool and excited. So I'd promote that way. And I would just ramp it up and then just look at what the top moto vlogging channels are doing and then figure out where you fit there and do something interesting. And so that would matter. What Chef says, Johan, I got all three. DSLR gives you a lot of creative freedom. Oh yeah, DSLR gives you a lot of creative freedom. Let's see. Do you, Stefan Motoax, do you think it wise to use YouTube to gain executive business coaching clients? This is Alpha Business Coach. Great question, Stefan, and you should definitely do some, email me, Stefan, about doing one-on-one consulting for this, because I think for what you're doing for business coaching, like I actually do get clients as a result of certain things that I do with my YouTube channel, but I get more of it with live streaming on Periscope and on Facebook Live. But I think using YouTube to establish yourself as a credible figure in the business coaching community, establishing quality content as proof and as a body of work matters. And if you've done speaking engagements, filming and posting your speaking engagements, Stefan, will definitely help you with leverage in the business world so that someone can vet you to say that you're qualified to hire for your business coaching. So, Stephen, I definitely think you should email me about one-on-one consulting so I can help you develop your YouTube channel to be a marketing funnel for your business strategy. I also know that you can grow your email list exponentially using YouTube video content. Whenever I make a new YouTube video that's about an existing lead magnet that I have, or a new lead magnet that I'm introducing, which is a free giveaway that gets people onto my email list, I jump by 1,000 new email subscribers in 1 week every time I put out a video that's about a new lead magnet or an existing lead magnet that offers tips to people. And thus, I think that next year, I'm going to be more aggressive about that. I think next year, once a week, I'm going to work in my free ebooks and my free email courses into a piece of video content once or twice a week, every single week next year, even if it means going from 7 uploads a week to doing 10 or 12 uploads a week to offset it. I'm going to do that, and that's why I'm hiring a video editor to help, so I can just put out more content. Guys, if I can get to a point before I ever have kids of making 2 to 3 videos a day a sustainable thing for me, even if some of it is chopping up old content into single answer questions for people that are valuable, like taking a top 10 video where I've done that and then having someone edit that into 10 videos that answer a single question, and that helps people individually and helps refresh content. But in addition to new content coming out, I could probably get to 3 videos a day. And the thing is, body of work wise, that's very advantageous for me. Not everyone will watch, but I will get more people in my pipeline, which means next year with a book launch under my belt, with probably a membership group under my belt, and with more speaking engagements, it's more marketing arbitrage for me, but also helps people with individual single problems they have, so it's acceptable and it would make sense. So Alpha Business Coach, Stefan, I think you should think of similar strategies, and it's something I think I can help you with. So let's talk about it offline. Email me about paid one-on-one coaching, and we can work together on that. I can help you use your YouTube channel to grow your business. So let's see. So Rosa's Beauty Fashion asks, what if you have some people that just want to see your channel grow and they go behind your back to bring your channel down, telling people things that are not true? One, those people are marketing you instead of marketing themselves, which means that from a business standpoint, they're very naive. Talking about someone else when you can talk about yourself from a business standpoint is kind of stupid unless they're a friend or a partner or someone you think is tremendous or want to promote. Primary example, in not talking about myself, but proving my credibility and that I collaborate and not compete, I can tell you that Tim Schmoyer is one of the smartest people in YouTube about growing a YouTube channel. We have very different styles, but Tim Schmoyer's content is phenomenal, and he's one of the best YouTube marketers out there. He's a YouTube certified expert, and you should watch his channel. You should also, it's Video Creators is Tim Schmoyer's YouTube channel. You should also be watching Daryl Eves. Daryl Eves is the leading YouTube certified expert. He has over 250,000 subscribers, but he's also helped corporate people on the back end, and so he's extremely business savvy as well. Not everyone will like my style, so they might like Tim, but they might not like Tim, so they might like Daryl. So you can look at both of these guys. You can also look at my good friend Amy Schmittauer, or my good friend Sonny Leonarduzzi, or David Walsh, who I'm a big fan of, or Gideon Shalwick. And these are all people that are YouTube experts and YouTube marketers, social media marketers. And even though we do similar content, we all cover a lot of different things. There's skills that I have that they don't have. There's experiences they have that I don't, and vice versa. And so I would encourage you to watch their channels. I don't care about competing with them because you guys like certain things about my personality, and there are things I do that they don't. Some of them do short form content. Sometimes I do in-depth content. Sometimes they don't do tutorials, but I do. So maybe that's a thing. Sometimes they do more Q&A than I do, and you might prefer that. So I don't worry about other people. I've never worried about what other people in YouTube are doing, and I don't think about it a lot. And that's why until recently, I didn't even know who like majority of the biggest YouTubers were. No idea, because I don't pay attention to that. I focus very much on my business. I focus on my friends and family. I focus on my community. I focus on my Facebook, my private Facebook network. I focus on you guys in my email list and answering and responding to your questions. I focus on responding to my comments with you guys. I focus on these live Q&As. I focus on you guys in Twitter. And that's all I do is I stay with my community. I stay in my lane. And the thing is, I know I have haters out there. I have found them. And like my answer to it is I address them personally, privately, and tell them that what they're doing is not cool and that they should really be focused on themselves and not me. But then I just let them work themselves out, because if they're spending their waking hours thinking about me, I've already won. If you're spending your waking hours thinking about taking me down, you're not spending your waking hours building yourself up to compete with me, and thus you've already gifted me a victory. If you're focused on attacking me instead of growing you, I've already won. And so that's what my advice to you, Rosas, is don't worry about haters. Haters gonna hate. Anybody doing check out my channel, guess what? Your thing gets blacklisted automatically, because that's what my filters do. Because, and I'm going to do a tutorial so you guys know how to do that, because filters for the win. So, yep. How do you deal with taxes on running your business? Any business. Get a tax advisor. I legally don't give tax advice because there's legal reasons you can't give tax advice. My answer is document every single expense. Document all of your income, and then do what I do. Pay $800 a year in tax preparation. Yeah, pay $800 a year in tax preparation. You get, like, there are people, I laugh because some of my contemporaries, and even some of you guys who watch this channel, some of you like, oh, Adobe subscription, $60 a month after taxes. It's like, guys, I pay almost $100 a month just to maintain my email newsletter, which I don't sell you guys anything in my email newsletter, as those of you who are signed up for it know. I don't sell things yet. There will be an ebook coming, and there will be a print book, an audiobook, and other things. There will be a membership course coming. There will be online courses coming. But right now, I shell out $100 to basically send you guys a weekly newsletter with either tips and tricks, motivation, free downloads that I found, or even free stuff that I just made. And so to give you guys free emails every week, I pay $100 a month. $60 a month to have the entire Adobe Creative Cloud means nothing to me in comparison to the fact that I pay $100 a month just to email you guys. It's one of the, and that's still one of my lower overall business expenses. Adobe cost me maybe $600 a year. I pay $800 a year just to prepare my taxes, and if they get any more complicated, I'll be paying $1,200 a year just to prepare my taxes, and then I actually pay my taxes on top of that. So the cost of doing business is really interesting. And then when people, like, there are people who still actually believe this weird thing that me and certain other people, like, buy subscribers and do stuff like that. It's like, guys, there's no money in buying subscribers. And business-wise, it would make no sense to buy views and subscribers. I'd buy ads to sell my consulting because I can make hundreds of dollars an hour in consulting. I'd buy ads. I'd never buy views or subscribers when I could buy ads and make money off of ads. Because when you have to pay taxes, email marketing, and I also pay, I think I spend between $200 to $400 a month in closed captioning my YouTube videos. I think that's about what I average. I think it's closer to averaging on the overall. It's probably $250 a month that I spend in closed captioning if the content is more short. And I haven't closed captioned my speaking engagements. That's what's going to get really expensive because those go 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm not going to close caption the Q&As, I don't think, because that's not evergreen enough. So I spend maybe $250 a month just in closed captioning, just for the international audience and just for the disabled, because I just feel like it's the right thing. There is a little bit of an SEO advantage, but it's only 10 or 20%. That's not enough financially to justify it on its own. So I really am doing that more because I think it's the right thing to do than anything else. Later, it could help me with transcriptions if I want to use that content for ebook material later, but that's still work that I'll have to pay somebody to help with. So it's not saving me money, but it might save me time later. So, I mean, running a business is so expensive. When you take YouTube seriously, the cost of that upfront it's not expensive because camera gear is relatively cheap, but the expenses behind things like email list and closed captioning and automation systems, a business banking account, the upfronts on your LLC and those things, and then your quarterly taxes, and then your yearly tax preparation, that's a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of, I don't even think about how much money that is, to be honest. Huh. But the thing is, the more money you make, the like less the expense of it gets to you from a percentage standpoint, as long as you're profitable. And so I put myself in a position to be very profitable, so I don't worry about the month-to-month expense. YouTube Noob says, I listen to you as I edit. I thank you for all your videos and inspiration to start up everything. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm also doing a podcast, but I need to do that more often. I'm trying to get the podcast to being weekly consistent. It's just really hard with all the other things I do, but I'm trying to figure that out. Pamela D asks, question, how do you come up with new content ideas so often and over such a long period of time that are keeping in with the thesis of my channel? Oh, I love this question. I love this question. So number one, I actually do a lot of, as you know, question of the day stuff toward the end of my videos. I ask for comments and feedback in my videos. I also do YouTube polls in almost every single video. I use that information and that data, and I add those things to a list that I kind of use as a database, and I use a combination of Microsoft OneNote, which is free, and I also use Evernote, which is also free. And so I use those to keep track of all the questions that you guys ask. I go back and I copy and paste those into a document. And so that document has a running list of videos. Plus, I sit down at least once a week and I take my own ideas and I look at what's happening in the marketplace, and I sit there and I make a list of maybe 30 things that I want to cover. I also use my top 10 list and I do that. So I take from my top 10 list and then I have individual top 10 videos and vice versa. So I'm always able to generate that content. I have 5,000 things in a database. Literally, it's 5,000 because of the different days of the week that I've accumulated. I have over 5,000 videos that I could make based on a combination of my own ideas, what's happening in the marketplace, and feedback from you guys, and it keeps growing. So that's why I'm able to stay on top of it. And so asking your viewers for what their problems are, question of the day, I can go back through this video and I could find literally no less than 20 new videos I could make out of questions that you guys asked. What program do I cast with? I'm using OBS, Open Broadcast System. Be a Man says, how do you decide on what your logo should be and what program to design it in? That takes a little bit of design sense. I say keep it simple. Most of you don't need a logo. Most of you just need to use like your face and as a nice pretty headshot for your thumbnails because people will resonate with that. I don't use a super complex logo, and the thing that stands in the bottom right-hand corner of my thing is not even actually my official logo. It's just a monogram that's a variation of my existing logo, but I designed it to feel very much like an Adobe icon because that's very much a part of my brand and my story, and I love Adobe and I advocate for them. So that is something that, you know, that's the way I did it. Guys, I need to take a quick water break and I need to review some of your questions. So I'm going to play a quick ad, but I will literally be back in like 30 to 60 seconds here, answering more of your questions. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Tweet this out, share it with people, invite them. But in the meantime, I hope this ad is something interesting. So enjoy. That water is fantastic. All right. And so I think based on like whatever the delay system is with ads that I'm back now. Some of you probably did see me drinking water, so it's whatever. I'm also going to figure out when I'm doing these live Q&As how to incorporate ads more naturally. That's going to be interesting. But yeah. So that's something that I'm going to look at. Let's see. Fire, blade, pilot, axe. Oh, I gave you advice for moto bloggers. Anne-Marie Jimenez asked, any advice on how and when to look into legal forms for freelance graphic designers, etc.? Great question. There is a website called Docracy. It's okay. Over on eofire.com, which is entrepreneuronfire.com, John Lee Dumas has a copy of legal forms prepared by his professional lawyer that cover the scope of pretty much everything you can need as a business. And I think it's either $40 or $100, I forget, but you can actually grab that, and it's all the legal forms and documents you could need. So that's eofire.com, and that's from John Lee Dumas, JLD, and he has a great daily podcast for entrepreneurs, and so that's super helpful, and maybe that will work out for you. Great question. Let's see. How do you promote without spamming? Reference my YouTube video on how to promote your YouTube channel properly. I have a video that talks about how to do that without spamming. What do you suggest for beauty channels? You get a lot of hate because you're a licensed cosmetologist. In your case, Stylist Raven, I would say you could do some content around becoming a licensed cosmetologist, because then people, because I think the problem is you're getting hate from people that glorify the DIY beauty guru community of real girls and real women that do beauty that don't have a professional background in it. But as a licensed cosmetologist, you have access to information that a lot of them don't. And I would say that you're not really looking for those young girls as much. I would say you're looking for the adult and professional market. And so you have to understand that haters going to hate, right? I get a lot of hate from kid YouTubers that are immature sometimes. I get a lot of hate from designers that want to be on Fiverr and sell themselves for $50 and $100 while I'm trying to get people that can sell themselves for $500 and $1,000 and $5,000 for their work, because I'm catering to trying to elevate people to the professional market. So haters gonna hate. You're not gonna be for everybody, but I think by doing a whole series on information that can help people who want to become licensed, you'll grow the kind of community you want and the type of people that respect what you do. And so I think that that can matter. And so I would go partly that route and then still do your stuff, because then people realize, oh, wait, if I ever want to make money at this or do this for a job, I might need to listen to Stylist Raven, and the kids aren't going to be into you. And just understand that the majority of YouTube is kids, so you have to position yourself to get the audience you want. Believe it or not, guys, 93% of my audience is over 18. I do not have a huge youth audience. Less than 7% of my audience is under 18. And while there's stuff that I would love to do that would have helped a 12-year-old Roberto, I'm not super focused on that. I thought about it, but I do like that older market because they're mature, they're here for the right reasons, they're not easily distracted, and they'll watch a video through. So, you know, that's really my preference. I want to help young people, but young people that skew older and are more mature are the audience of young people that I would prefer. So I don't think I have to change my content to reach them. I think I would just have to do more budget stuff and some tutorials on free software, and then that would reach them. So that's my advice. BF Williams, I did give you advice on marketing your student athlete channel. I'd say documentary, and also go filmmaker and do some really advanced, like very cool stuff. Think about what Nike would do. Yep, I have a whole series on how to grow a YouTube channel. I literally have over 100+ videos giving you all the things I did and all the steps that I took to grow my YouTube channel from 0 to 150,000 or so subscribers over the course of the last 3 years. And so I would do that. Exist in Nature asks, can you use your phone to stream on YouTube? Yes, you can absolutely use your phone to stream on YouTube. There are some glitches with it. It will depend on your network provider, your data rate, and so those things definitely matter. So I would say that. Is it normal to lose subscribers? Yes, it is absolutely normal to lose subscribers. I probably bleed maybe 1,000 subscribers a month. But that could be anything. And what I did find is that more than half of that is an international audience. So it could be that either it's videos that I don't close caption for whatever reason that made them unsubscribed, or that they didn't realize that I closed captioned it, because like 50% of that is international people, and then the rest, it could be any number of reasons. They may not have figured out that I'm a variety channel, and they may have subscribed for one specific thing, but now that they're like, oh, he doesn't do that every day, they might have unsubscribed. So I bleed 1,000, but I net close to 10,000. So I'm like, okay, 10% churn rate isn't bad. Most YouTubers I know have like maybe a 10 to 30% churn rate, and so that's what it is. Seems like Anonymous Silver Stacker says, seems like everyone is doing live videos these days. Does the channel need to do live videos to stay relevant on YouTube? I don't believe they do. I like live videos because, one, they show you guys that I'm authentic. Two, it gives community an opportunity to get questions in. It lets me source questions from you guys, and it lets me also like build up my cadence in terms of being able to answer stuff off the top of my head without research first and things like that. I don't use a script for my videos, but I also know my content cold and I know what I want to say, and sometimes I'll have my 10 list or my 5 list of points like on the phone, so I'll be able to reference that beforehand, and then I'll just go in on those things naturally. That's why I edit so quickly, is because I'm only cutting ums and ahs and pauses, or a double take where I don't think I said it well, or my mouth dried up and I had to get water. So it's things like that. I think live, though, proves who you are, because you can't fake live. I don't think anyone can fake live for 30 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes. I don't think you can fake who you are for that extended period of time unless you're a gifted actor or actress. And even them, they have breaks and they do takes and they do re-edits. So actually, even an actor can't do that unless they're a stage actor. Like, you know, like my friend Malcolm is an actor and a stage actor, and we've recorded stuff and he's had to do bits, and like, I don't think you can sustain doing something that's not who you are for 30 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes live. I just don't think you can. So I think there's a value to doing live. I think it's interesting. Do you need it to do relevant? No, I don't think you need to do live streaming. I like doing it occasionally, and I think I'm going to do this once a month. I think I'm going to do a YouTube Q&A. This one's focusing on small YouTubers. Next time it might be focusing on YouTube business and monetization. So that might be November's Q&A. And so I think that it's just different for everybody, and I think that's just a matter of playing to your strengths. Some people aren't good on camera, so their YouTube videos should be pre-recorded or animation or slides or something else, or tutorials. So, you know, that's just how it is. How many YouTube subscribers should you get during the first year? It's different for everybody. It depends. Nick IRL, there's no set number and there's no answer to what's successful. I know YouTubers who have 10,000 subscribers and have a 6-figure business, because they're business YouTubers. They're not personalities. They're not entertainers. They're business people, like my friend Owen, or even my friend Amy. Amy has 50,000 subscribers. She has a 6-figure business. Sunny has 50,000 subscribers. She has a 6-figure business. Owen has 10,000 subscribers. He has a 6-figure business. John Lee Dumas has, I think, 5,000 subscribers. He has a 7-figure business. Pat Flynn has, I think, 60,000 subscribers. He has a 7 to 8-figure business. Like, you know, subscriber count doesn't matter. It depends on what your goals are, because maybe your goal isn't to make money and to have a 6 or 7-figure business. Your goal might be that you want to be a personality and cross over into mainstream media or something like that. Your channel's goal might be to raise awareness around a cause, and thus I don't think measuring your success or how valuable your channel is in subscribers is the answer. I think that if your channel's goal is to raise money for charity, then it's how much money for charity you raise. If your goal is to bring awareness to a cause like autism, then it's like helping 2,000 families that have a child with autism. That's a successful YouTube channel for that community. So it's down to what your goal is. What's your purpose? What's your why? That's like my biggest thing with YouTubers is the majority of YouTubers are lacking a definitive why. Why are they doing this? Why should someone watch them? Why should someone subscribe? Why is this valuable? Why does this mean anything? Why is this worth 5 to 10 minutes of my life today? Like, most YouTubers cannot answer a definitive why other than they say, I work hard, I think I make quality content. That's irrelevant. What is the overarching purpose behind what you did? And again, it could be different. It could be the purpose is to grow businesses. The purpose could be to grow your business. The purpose could be to bring awareness to a cause. The purpose could be that you want to be rich. Like, it could be that you want to serve people and you want to educate a market that you feel is underserved. And so it has to be something bigger than you. That's that's my answer to what success is. And that could be entertaining people, by the way. I grew up in my childhood had its off days because I was a nerd. I was a nerd, and I was an art kid, and I was a black nerd, and I was also from an immigrant family. I have the name Roberto Blake. Like, I'm from an immigrant family. Like, my weekday afternoons after school, not fantastic at the bus stop, okay? Which means when I came home, watching VR Troopers, watching Power Rangers, watching Ninja Turtles, that was escapism for me, and I value that, and it's probably why I'm a creative person today. Watching Bob Ross, that mattered to me. Watching LeVar Burton, that mattered to me. Made a difference in my life. And thus, I would say that if you're entertaining, there's a public service in that. If you're having a message underlying, or you're giving people escapism or relief, so that's why that's a valuable and noble thing to do, and that can be business. So again, you still need a goal. You still need a purpose that goes outside of you and is bigger than you. And that's also my biggest issue with gaming channels is there's not a purpose or a theme or a message underlying. And the thing is, there can be, and there have been gaming channels that do that. And there is a theme. Even as an entertainment channel, it's very clear what the channel is. But mostly gaming channels are clones now, and thus, because they're clones, there's no unique intrinsic value. There's no community. There's no message. There's no theme. There's no show. There's no personality, and thus, how do you expect to grow anything if you don't have those things? So I think they all matter. So I think why and your personality, and I think all those things add up. Do you need, Stylish Raven X, do you need a YouTube manager? I've been contacted about that, and also networks contact you. Is this necessary? It's not necessary to have a manager. When you get a certain amount of subscribers, whether it's 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, you get a YouTube account manager that can help you and answer questions and helps does an audit of your channel and things like that. And that's useful information. And you can contact them if things go wrong. But a network isn't necessary. A network can help you if you are a gaming channel, a music channel, a parody channel, or a comedian channel, and they can create a buffer for you with certain things, especially with copyright and fair use materials. So a network is valuable in that regard if you're that specific type of YouTuber. For the overwhelming majority of other YouTubers, a network doesn't do anything they can't do on their own. They're just not educating themselves about it, and thus I would say that that's why my channel is valuable, because I teach you everything that a network would do for you and how to do it for yourself. Everything that network offers, I've literally covered how to do it yourself on this channel. EL Magic says, I struggle on getting noticed on YouTube even though you use a ton of tags. It's not about using a ton of tags. It's about using the right tags in combination. It's about making good titles that are interesting to people and will be searched or will be shared. And it's about making content that's worth watching and people sharing. If you're just trying to game the system by doing tag spam on YouTube, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be noticed. The best way to get noticed on YouTube is to make hundreds of quality videos and to promote hundreds of quality videos and to build community and to do that. So that's what I would say. Be a Man says, it takes a few hours to make a video, editing included. Be a Man, I would say look at my video editing tutorials for Premiere Pro if you're using Premiere Pro, but they could also help you in general to figure out how to make your editing shorter in terms of time. But I would also say, shoot in a way that makes editing easier. I'll probably cover how to do that in a video. CNI Rebel Axe, how do you find clients for videos? You mean how do you find sponsors for your videos? You find sponsors by using sponsorship networks like Relio Labs, FameBit, and Grapevine Logic, and Content Boulevard. You can also look up the marketing people for brands that you're interested in and contact them through social media or look up their number. You can also contact PR people and press companies that represent brands. Here's the thing. If you don't have 10,000 subscribers, it's going to be really hard to get sponsors. But you could do it with 5,000, but it's not easy. Saracen says, I have a question. If a small channel like me wants to give my opinion about something that is involved to YouTube drama, do you think that's bad look for you as a small YouTuber? YouTube drama is annoying to me. Some of it's valid. Like, Philip DeFranco's not a YouTube drama channel. Philip DeFranco actually does what I might consider the closest thing YouTube has to citizen journalism, because he fact checks, he does retractions or does corrections. He's not just him. He has a staff that helps him figure those things out, and so he does it very well. Philip DeFranco has been doing this since the beginning of YouTube, and I feel he does it very well. I don't like the other YouTube channels that try to do the same thing because they don't do real journalism, they don't do fact-checking, they don't do nearly as much research, and a lot of times when they make mistakes, they don't correct them. Some of them do. Some of them are not bad people. A lot of them are well-meaning, but they're also just being a tabloid rag. They're the National Enquirer of YouTube. They're the TMZ of YouTube. It's valid, and you could build a very lucrative business on that, but if that's what you want to be known for, is being a gossip rag, well, that's one thing. There's a stylistic way to do it. And there's a smart way to do it for business, and there's a way to do it that doesn't look horrible. But if you're not going to be a gossip rag, I would stay out of YouTube drama, or I wouldn't commentate on it at all, personally. That's my opinion. I think you have to think about what you want to be known for and what you want to have a stake in and what you want associated with you. And so if you were going to build a real news channel that focuses on social media news and community, that would be one thing. But you yourself called it YouTube drama, and thus I think you know the answer there. Family Invasion Axe, is it time-consuming to edit videos? It depends on how good you are at editing videos and what your theory of video editing is. Most YouTubers I know spend 2 to 4 hours editing a single video. I spend 15 to 30 minutes editing a single video. But I also have been editing videos for the internet 6 years before YouTube. No, more than 6 years. When did YouTube came out in 2006, right? I've been editing videos for the internet since, I think, 1998. Yeah, I've been editing videos both as a wedding videographer assistant through the church that, like, there was a wedding photographer that I was assistant to. His wife had a wedding planning business in the church when I was a kid, and so when I was like 15 or whatever, I was doing that, and so I learned video production and editing that way. And so that was like 1998. YouTube came out in 2006. So like 8 years before YouTube existed, I was doing video editing. 8 years before YouTube existed, I was doing video editing. And so my editing takes 15 to 30 minutes per video for a 5 to 10 minute video. And so that's where I go with that. Could you get free stuff by reviewing products? Rivera Lewis asks. Yes. Yes, you can. And so it's a very lucrative thing to do. I got some of my equipment that way, but I still bought overwhelmingly 90-80% of my equipment. And I don't always, every piece of equipment that comes through the doors here, I don't always review it because if it sucks, I don't review it. Some of them have begged me to say, okay, maybe at least do an unboxing or first impressions, even if you aren't going to recommend it, or do something, or can you feature it in a top 5 list or something? And I'm like, no. So, like, so sometimes I actually annoy brands because I'm very ethical about the way that I approach my sponsored video content. Is I tell you guys that stuff is sponsored even when no money has changed hands if they just send me stuff. Like, and most people, if they don't get money for it, they don't say it's sponsored at all, or they don't acknowledge that the company sent it to them to review, whereas I do that. So a lot of people don't do that, and so that's how I approach it. So, that's my answer. Family Invasion asked, how long till you reached 100,000 subscribers? I think it was just shy of 3 years because I started doing weekly content and growing my channel in July of 2013. I owned my YouTube channel before that, but I wasn't doing anything with it. I started doing real content in July of 2013, and I hit 100,000 subscribers in April of 2016 this year. I had 70,000. Excuse me. I had 70,000 subscribers in January of this year, the beginning of this year. I'm projected, because I'm almost at 150,000 now, that by the end of this year, I'll have 170,000, which means including losses, I gained a whole 100,000 subscribers, even with losses in a year, which is really interesting. I totally appreciate you guys for that because that's what you guys did. That's on you, loving the content and it being helpful to you. So that's the answer. Is it was a little under 3 years and like 600 and something videos to get there. But it's the type of content I do. I'm an online educator. I'm a how-to channel. So one, most of the people who view my videos don't subscribe. Most of the people who view my videos are not my subscribers, and not everyone who subscribes to me will watch every single video. That makes me look very bad as a YouTuber. It makes me look very good as an educator. It makes me look very good as a community thought leader, that I care enough to make videos that I know will help a small number of people, 100 people, 1,000 people, but will look very bad for my stats. I'll make the video anyway. I'll make the video anyway because I'm that serious about I make videos to help people. I don't make videos just for my own sake. If I wanted to, I could focus on doing videos that I literally know would. I could do videos that I know will only get 20,000 views. I have enough data, and I'm smart enough to where I could do videos that only get 20,000 views. That's boring as hell to me, even though I'd make a lot more money. I don't care as much about that so much as I need to make the videos that I need to make. I need to make the videos that are interesting to me, that solve problems that I think need to be solved. I need to do certain things, like there's certain things that my personality and my compulsions will force me to do. It actually makes me very accountable. And like certain things with my integrity is that things bother me. Like there are things that bother me. Like not nice things I did in 6th grade bother me today. Okay? Like, so I do things for my own reasons in the hopes that they help other people. I don't do things to be a successful YouTuber. Like a lot of you don't believe me, but I think the videos that I make and sometimes the view counts for those videos prove my point here. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them I do not give a crap about being a successful YouTuber. I care a lot more about being a successful businessman, being a thought leader and an educator, and motivating people to work hard and learn stuff. Like, work hard and learn stuff is what I'm selling, and it's the unsexiest product in the world to sell. I'd make far more money and have far bigger of a following if I just talked about Star Wars and geeked out over Star Wars every single week on YouTube. I'd make infinitely more money, and I could be one of the biggest Star Wars, biggest geek culture channels on YouTube. I could literally do that just like that, I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I could do Game of Thrones reviews and do the best Game of Thrones reviews on the entire YouTube landscape. I could be in the top 10. I think that actually Emergency Awesome Charlie would probably do better reviews than me, but I think that I am more energetic and I can be more exciting on camera. So I think I could win that. Sorry, Charlie. I love your content, and he has millions of subscribers, so he's really good. I love Charlie from Emergency Awesome. I just think that personality-wise, that if I went that route, eventually I could have more gravitas. But I don't do that because that's not as important to me as all the other stuff that I care about. Being a geek is a very small part of, I'm more of a creative than anything. So my answer to all of this stuff about growing a YouTube channel is just do content that matters to you and that you love and that serves some overarching goal that you have, whether it's growing your business, whether it's building a community of like-minded people, whether it's serving a cause that you believe in, whether it's that you want to entertain and bring enjoyment to the lives of others. You have to have something bigger. It has to be more than YouTube. You have to go beyond YouTube. That could be a book. Go beyond YouTube. That could be interesting. Maybe I have to dabble or do something better with that title. I don't think that title's good enough. So that's my answer. Gnarly Paintbrush asks, "Hey Roberto, does the YouTube algorithm only recognize individual video watch time, long videos, or does it take into account overall channel watch time? You make speed paint videos which are short." Excellent question, Gnarly Paintbrush. YouTube does account for individual video watch time, collective channel watch time in a 30-day cycle, and it also calculates session time across YouTube as a whole. Meaning that if your video is the first video in someone's YouTube watch session, but because they came to your video first and they stay on YouTube watching 5 other people for an hour, your channel gets authority for that as well. So it's individual video watch time, channel watch time, and session watch time, which I will cover in a video about YouTube watch time explained. Which I doubt that video will get more than 5,000, 10,000 views in its first 60 days, but it will be important to the people who take YouTube seriously. And that video will probably be out in a couple of weeks because I think it's an important video to make. And I think I need to talk more about the YouTube algorithm. Talking about the YouTube algorithm is not as sexy as a sell, and it's not as catchy to the far majority of you, but understanding the YouTube algorithm is the most serious thing you can do in YouTube, and it's the most tactical thing you can do in YouTube that would make a difference in how you approach YouTube as a whole, because it's the system under the hood. But everyone is more worried about the paint job and the rims of their YouTube channel versus the engine that drives it, and I'm about the engine that drives it, and that's the algorithm, and understanding that, as well as higher level content strategy. And so I do want to cover those things more, and I plan to, even though I know no one will watch those videos. Eccentric Cuddles asks, for certain royalty-free music, do you have to put a license in the description of the song that is used in the video? If it tells you that you have to, or if it's Creative Commons, then yes. Family Invasion asks, how important is quality? Quality matters a lot. And once you do quality, it's quality with a multiplier of quantity, with a multiplier of distribution. Versus, and also with a multiplier of upcycling. But that's a very complicated business thing to talk about, and I don't think we'll have the time for me to cover it here, because it'll literally be me going on a 30-minute business lecture, and I don't think I really want to do that right now. iOS Android Rebel. Bonjour, Roberto. Comment, I can't translate that. Best editing software you use, Family Invasion asks. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I think it's the best video editing software out there. If I was going to recommend, and I do recommend something else, guys, I have a review coming out. It is sponsored by Cyberlink, but Cyberlink is a friend of the channel, and they've been giving me software to test out. And they gave me Cyberlink Power Director 14, but they also gave me the upgrade to Cyberlink Power Director 15, their newest version of the software. And for $100, I think it's probably the best $100 price point software for video editing, because for $100 it can edit 4K video, it has an easy mode and an advanced mode, and it can edit 360 video, which even Final Cut Pro cannot do right now. Final Cut Pro can't edit 360 video, so for any of you looking to get into 360 video, which could be really great for you right now because it's underutilized, and no one is doing 360 video for the most part, but a few people are, and I have some ideas about that. I'm trying to work with Samsung now that I'm an ambassador to do 360 video and to get a Samsung 360 cam, and I might buy that, but I'm thinking I'll buy my drone first, which will probably be the Karma. I'll buy the Karma first, and then in the new year I'll buy the Mavic, unless I get like a super influx of cash flow from somewhere and I decide screw it because I'll count it against taxes. I don't know, but the point I'm making is that for $100, Cyberlink Power Director 15 does most of what you can do in Adobe Premiere Pro, but as far as core editing features, and it edits 360 video and 4K video, so I would look at that. Great question. Let's see. What type of camera should you buy? The best camera is the camera you know how to use and to buy with you, and so I got the Canon Vixia HFR 700 for $300, and it does have a microphone input jack, but it does not have a cold shoe or a hot shoe, so it's really difficult to mount a microphone on top of it, but you can do a wired lapel mic or hooked up to you, so you'll have to use a tripod accessory to hold your audio equipment for this thing, because it doesn't come with a hot shoe thing, but there might be an accessory, so you can look it up. That's $300. My Nikon D3200 that I shoot majority of the content with is about $350 and comes with a lens. Your phone is a fantastic camera. I've got some action cams around here, and you can get action cams for like $100 if that's your thing. 200 for my, where's my GoPro? I have a GoPro Hero Session around here somewhere. Where'd I put it? I was going to use it as a prop example for this thing, but I'd have to find where I put it. I think I put it in a bag or something. So that's another one, and so you could get that, and that's like $100. See, this minor obsessive compulsive thing makes me look for this thing, even though I just said forget about it. I'm still looking for it because I get fixated. That's like a quirk of mine you guys can only see in the live streams, is sometimes I'll go into tangents or I'll get fixated on something. The magic of editing means that you guys don't normally see that. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So cameras, so you can get a DSLR for like $350 from Nikon, $500 if you want a Canon, if you're a Canon person, $300. You can go with $180, but I think that if you want a microphone, you have to spend $300 for a camcorder. So I do that. This is really so I can film my speaking engagements without the camera cutting off. So that's actually the way that I choose to use it majority of the time. This should be powered off. So that's for long form content. For most of my YouTube stuff, I can either shoot with my DSLR camera or I can shoot with my smartphone horizontal. So that's what I usually prefer to do, and it's what I think is most practical. When I'm doing webcam stuff, I'm using Logitech C920. That's $70. They just released the C922. I'll probably reach out to Logitech and ask them to send that over for me to review and to do stuff with it. But if not, I'll just buy it. It's probably $120. And so those are cameras that you can buy. Also, you can find my YouTube setup and all my gear at robertoblake.com/YouTube setup. I'll just post that link for you guys. And that is my Amazon affiliate stuff, so that does help me out. But you guys can use that, and you can find all the stuff that I use for my YouTube videos. I mean, that's what I'm using. But I need to update that because I've got some new equipment. What else? Yep, that blocked somebody. That blocked somebody. Okay, good. My filter is working. What camera did I use to live stream? I use the Logitech C920 for live streaming. Trying to find... I have to scroll up because there's so many questions. How do you think of something unique? You think of something unique by being actually unique. You think about what you care about, what you talk with your friends the most about, and then you find a way to make that work and make it interesting and do what hasn't been done. Do you think that paying to make your YouTube video an ad is worth it for a small YouTuber? No, I think that buying ads is for if you're a business. If I have a book that I'm marketing, I should do an ad. I did an ad for more of my speaking engagements. You should do that. I plan to do more ads like that. Maybe if you want to grow your email list and you're giving away a free ebook, I really think that that's what ads are. I wouldn't use an ad to grow your YouTube channel. I don't think there's any money in it. I don't believe in it. I think good content would work better. Let's see. How do you find your niche without restricting your creativity? You want to make things, but they're not always directly related. Then Quirky Quinn, I would say make a show that allows you to cover a lot of different things, but then you're putting it under the umbrella of a show. So that's how I would do it. Yep. I'm not here for people to like me. Either exist in nature. I'm here to provide quality value and information and content. Not everyone will agree with it. Not everyone will like my personality or my presentation style or my face. So, I'm a nerd. I grew up as a nerd. I gave up on the business of being liked a long time ago. If you've ever been a nerd or an art person or a film buff or a tech geek or somebody that's in the nature or the environment, or you're a super religious person, then guess what? You already know that the business of being liked is a failing business model. You know that. And so I don't believe in that. Let's see. Do you know how to record a Chromebook? You need screen recording software. Open Broadcast System is free. Maybe you use that. Any advice for a math education channel or education channel in general? I would say build it out kind of like a show, but also use how-to videos. And I would say keep producing content. Don't worry about your views and subscribers. Focus instead on making kind of 10-episode series type content for education, one-off how-to videos, but also cumulatively in the first year, I would set a goal of 5,100 videos as your goal for an education channel. Shop Now says, do you recommend a YouTuber join a network? No, not if you're not a gaming channel, a parody channel, or a television show review channel, or someone that deals a lot in copyright and fair use. If you are, maybe join a network. They will not grow your channel, but they might protect you a little bit. So that's my answer. Let's see what else we got. Appropriate tags for your video. Use TubeBuddy. Use tubebuddy.com/awesome. That is my link, and that can help you out with your tags. The paid version is infinitely better than the free version, so I always recommend that. It's affordable. If you want to make money on YouTube, it's probably the most practical investment you can make at this point. So I think that that matters. There's a little bit of an echo because my room is super open like that. So it's only a little bit. Let's see. Rosa Beauty Fashion, you get a lot of, you love editing, you get compliments on your editing. Awesome. I love editing too. Been doing it for more than half my life. Let's see. Enzo Buds, awesome. Let's see. What anyone can make money off YouTube? Not really. You have to actually be good. I'm going to report that person. Actually, I'm going to block that user. Boom. And I'm going to report them. So, yep. So I reported that person that was giving out somebody's personal information, and I blocked them. So we're all good there. Math asks, is there any way in YouTube to have different voiceovers where the viewer gets to choose the language? Unfortunately, no. But that is what closed captioning and subtitles are for, and that's super helpful. So I would say definitely look into that. Muslim Tech, my answer and suggestions for your YouTube channel are make more videos and also watch my 100+ videos on how to grow a YouTube channel. That is my suggestion. Rosa Beauty Review Fashion, I would love for you to review my channel and see what you think. I'd like to know my strong points. I've already reviewed, I think, 2 beauty channels for my YouTube 30 at 30 series, and I've actually also already picked all those videos. Rosa, all the channels were picked in advance. But I do paid YouTube consultation. I do hourly consultation for people. It's part of my business as a marketing consultant. So if you want to hire me, you can email me and reach out, and I would love to work with anybody one-on-one who wants to do paid consulting to grow their channel or to use their channel to market their business or their products or build a brand. I do paid one-on-one consulting for that, so you can find my info at robertoblake.com to email about that. So that's what I would suggest. Luke's father's Vader, which is also my screensaver. So Tywin TV, that's your answer there. Is there any way for YouTube to do multiple? Nope, I answered that. Yes, you'll learn so much. Zenut Jam, yes, you will learn so much by editing and doing multiple videos and doing as much as possible. Yep. Day-to-day Video Davis asks, sorry to ask this again, does audience retention still matter more than watch time? Watch time matters more than audience retention, overwhelmingly. For YouTube, time is money. So on a 100 minutes, 30% retention would still be better than 100% retention on a 10-minute video. So because raw watch time and raw session time matters most, that's also a Google thing. So watch time matters more than retention. So yes, watch time matters more than retention. Retention is probably one of the next most important thing. But again, we're talking about individual video watch time, channel authoritative watch time, and then session watch time as far as being the gateway to keeping them on YouTube. Instead of them going from your video to Facebook or Twitter, keeping them on YouTube longer, even if it's not on your channel, matters. But keeping them on your channel as long as possible also matters. So it's 3 things for watch time first, and then retention. But engagement matters probably even more than retention. Hello, Roberto. Max, what you think about the art community, like drawing and painting, and how would you approach it? Oh, I love that community so much, and I'm so jealous of the people who are much better at that than me a little bit. Not jealous of them in the sense of jealous of them, but envious of the fact that I haven't developed that skill as much as I would have liked, and I still will probably do more with that myself. And I'm doing a lot of Photoshop Live stuff on Adobe's channel for that, and on their Twitch stuff. I'm going to do more of that even here. I'm probably going to do that more like in the middle of the week kind of thing, or on the weekend. So I love the art community. I think that just doing a lot of it and having really great thumbnails and building community, I think that's amazing. The line art system is hard on Photoshop. Yeah, it can be, but I also think having a tablet matters. Yeah. You've been enjoying this live stream? Awesome. Rivera Lewis, good night to you. Thank you. Really enjoying the stream and the people chatting. 5,000 to 10,000 views is like 1 million to some of us. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Zenut Jam says YouTube should be seen as a platform for promotion, not as a strong source of revenue. There are a lot of people like Roberto Blake and Tim Schmoyer who insist on this. Don't focus on ad revenue. Oh, yeah. I agree 110%. That's why I don't think YouTube's a job, for example. I think it can be a business, though, but I think it's a strong branding and marketing platform. I think you use YouTube to build a personal brand. I'll actually be talking about this on an Adobe Masterclass Tuesday, UK time. It's going to be UK time, so it's going to be super early in the morning, so a lot of you will be at work and school. But on Tuesday, me and Adobe are partnering, and I'm doing an hour-long masterclass on using video to build a personal brand. Me and Tim Schmoyer both really believe on that. I was actually talking to Tim a lot about this the other day, and so I really believe in that, and that you use it to build and market yourself more than as an ad revenue stream. Now, it can be a healthy ad revenue stream. Like, I mean, a lot of you ask me, do I make a full-time income on YouTube? Look, I make somebody's full-time income on YouTube. I make somebody's salary in corporate America on YouTube between ads and sponsorship and affiliate marketing, but a lot of that also crosses over into my regular day-to-day business, and so it's really weird. It's like I consider YouTube a ridiculously profitable side hustle, and on some months it outperforms my overall business, which gets I'm a little vain about that I get annoyed by that, but I know that once I release a book and ebooks and products and my membership course and my membership group and my online course stuff, I know that my product business will infinitely outstrip my revenues between YouTube, between sponsorship, ads, and affiliates. I know that that'll make me more money because I'll keep 90% of that instead of the 50% of ad revenue. So I know that it'll outstrip all of those things, and I won't be as salty about the fact that, man, Roberto the YouTuber might make more money than Roberto the businessman, but both make more money than like most people at a 9-to-5 job. Like that, and again, that's not a modest brag, that's perspective. That's like, I'm trying to frame it and say that if you go to Social Blade, you can look up what you think I make in ad revenue, tack a few $100 on there, and then that's accurate for ad revenue. But it doesn't account for all the money I make when I do sponsor deals. It doesn't account for any of the client work that I do or the clients I get for marketing consulting on YouTube stuff or on social media in general or on business and actually growing an email list and things like that, because there are people who pay me to figure that out. And then sometimes I still get paid to literally do recruiting, believe it or not, for businesses to help them find designers or video editors or producers. I get paid a finder's fee to do recruiting. And I didn't even try to do that. That just happens. I get paid writing deals, and I write for Creative Pro and How Design and Print Magazine and other places and Smart Hustle Magazine. So you know, there's a lot of money I make outside of YouTube, but like YouTube and Roberto the YouTuber is like a really lucrative side hustle because it's not something that takes 40 hours a week or 40 hours a month for me, but it makes me a lot of money. But I will make more money selling products that people want. I will make more money doing one-on-one consulting with you guys as long as I want to book enough clients for the month versus travel for speaking engagements. And so at the moment, I make more money there. But if I were to get 1 million views a month instead of 500,000 views a month, well, the multiplier effect of ad revenue and then also the value increase that I would get in terms of negotiating with sponsors and doing more frequent sponsor deals and selling more of my video inventory, well, that could be questionable whether the products outsell that, because that could be a month-to-month thing, so that gets interesting. But product sales are probably the most lucrative online business there are. So yeah. Guys, speaking of making ad revenue and money, I'm going to play another quick ad. All right, and then there are some of you who are seeing that ad just based on your stuff, and the rest of you are still enjoying the stream. Some of you might have YouTube Red. So, you know, we're back. I encourage you to build a personal brand more than focusing on making money on YouTube through ad revenue. And by building a personal brand, you can make a product that's a $20 or $30 product, and if 100 people a month buy that, you're making $2,000. It is much easier to make $2,000 selling stuff than it is to make $2,000 in ad revenue. Yes, you can live stream on YouTube with your cell phone, but it's not easy, and sometimes the signal drops. Danielle Butler asks, would you work with a small channel that could fit with your channel? Every single collaboration I've done, and I've done quite a few of them, has been with a smaller channel than mine, some with like almost no following, but they were people that I respect and that and people I do. So yes, I would. Yeah, I'd actually rather work with smaller channels than larger channels than mine. And here's the thing, I have nothing against larger channels than mine. My issue is that in a lot of cases, the larger, it's the audience and it's the fit. It's the community aspect, because the thing is, I may not have anything to offer a larger YouTuber, but I can definitely have a lot to offer in a relationship with a smaller YouTuber. But a larger YouTuber, the thing is, there are larger channels than mine, and aside from the fact that I love their content or that they have a great community that I would love, that like I don't really get a lot out of that larger YouTuber either, because what if their audience doesn't like my content and doesn't want to follow me? So, okay, but unless I just want to build a relationship with that person, then that's cool, because I'd rather do that. For me, it's not about subscriber counts. It's about the relationship I have with the individual person. Like I would do, Shameless Maya has a bigger YouTube audience than mine by like, she has like twice the size of my audience. But a lot of her audience is very into some of the other stuff that she does, and her personally, they might not want my content or value my content, but I would do a collab with Shameless Maya around tech, because we're both big old tech nerds and we both love camera gear. And so it'd be cool for us to just go and do like a play date and go to B&H and geek out over camera gear and vlog about that. That would be a great collab for us, because we're just both like camera geeks. And I'm not on team Canon or Nikon. I'm agnostic. I have a Canon here, a Nikon over there, a Panasonic over there, a GoPro, and I'm a big fan of Sony, and I'll get more Sonys. And I started with Sony, honestly, and I'm also a fan of Logitech, so I'm agnostic. I'm not team Nikon or Canon, but for DSLRs, my preference is probably Nikon. My preference for DSLRs is probably Nikon. Mirrorless systems overall are my preference in general, and I would say that I prefer those because of the 4K video capabilities, and I would prefer Panasonic and Sony. So that matters. For Micro Four Thirds, Panasonic is my system, so I'm all about that. Next year, I'll get the GH5. I have the G7, Lumix G7. I'll probably, after I build out my lens system first, I'll probably get a second Panasonic Lumix G7, and then when the GH5 comes out, I'll get that. And then the GH5 will probably replace my camcorder setup, because this is for long-form content like speaking engagements. But guess what? When I have the GH5, it has no recording limit, and it doesn't overheat, because that's the same thing as the GH4, and thus I won't need a camcorder unless it's that I want to do something on the fly in a place where I don't feel safe walking around with expensive equipment, in which case I would just use this. So that's my answer to that camera gear question. Danielle Butler, message me, DM me on Twitter or message me here on YouTube. I'll take a look at your channel, and if I think it's a good fit, I think it's a good fit. But it has to be that it's a good fit for my audience and something I think would be valuable for them is how I do collabs. Look at Filmora if on a budget for video editing software. Yeah, Filmora could be good for video editing software on a budget, but if you spend twice as much money, you can get CyberLink PowerDirector 15, and I'd recommend that. Do you have advice for an art and design channel? Do a lot of demonstrations and tutorials. That's a great question, Kara. Do a lot of demonstrations and tutorials, do some speed arts, and do some instruction. My answer is to look at what Bob Ross did with The Joy of Painting and take some notes from that. Let's see. I might have skipped a ton because like the comments keep jumping, and so I can't keep up with it. And we're only going to do about 15 more minutes because I only meant to do a live stream for an hour to 90 minutes, and we're almost on 2 hours now. So 15 more minutes, guys, because I still have to get out today's actual video, which I may release close to midnight just because of timing. But also I need to eat something because I ate lunch earlier, and I'm probably due to eat again. And I need to do a better job of keeping up with that because health stuff. What's my camera setup? I've actually addressed my camera setup, and you can go find it at robertoblake.com/YouTube setup, and that Amazon list has all my gear. And I'm going to type that into the thing. And it's actually in the description of the video too, so. What do you think about the gaming community in YouTube? The gaming community in YouTube, it has a lot to figure out, and it needs to grow up, and it needs to stop being clones, and people need to make shows. I think that gaming YouTubers could be strong if they do shows and stop just doing gameplay, or if they do gameplay, they make it unique and interesting by making it a caricature thing or make it a performance, and stop trying to do a bunch of it and do limited series runs of 5 to 10 videos per game, and they do something like that. Or, excuse me, retro gameplay could be good. I think just trying to ride trends is a problem, and so I think the YouTube gaming community, I also think the YouTube gaming community has a maturity problem with the youth culture around it, and that people don't understand the business logistics of YouTube in general, and thus I think that that's the biggest issues with the gaming community in YouTube. What is the average watch time, what is the actual watch time, retention time for a YouTube video? It depends from channel to channel because every channel is different. Tutorial channels will have it longer. Vloggers might have it longer. How-to channels, it can vary. Entertainment channels do stuff under 5 minutes, so it'll be lower. Lasse Von Sealing asks, question, how long are you working, are my working days? It depends because I also take a lot of health breaks and I work out, and then I take a lot of phone meetings. So I have no idea. But then there are days where I only work for an hour or two, and then the rest of the days are me or family time. I also travel a lot. So there's no real answer to that. A work day is whatever I decide it is, and it could be an hour or it could be 16 hours. Would I watch myself and take advice? Ask Family Invasion. If I wanted to be successful. Like, that sounds cocky as all hell, but that's the truth, is because I made these videos, and you realize how helpful this information would have been to Roberto 10 years ago? I make content that would have been helpful to a younger me. I make content that would have been helpful to me a year ago. That when you ask, like, how do you get ideas for videos? I literally am solving the problems for other people that I already solved for myself. I talk about the things that I know. I talk about the things that I did. I don't play in theory. I talk about what I did. So would I watch my own content and take advice? Yeah. I go back to my old content sometimes and take my own advice. So that matters. I analyze my old content and learn from it, and I take advice and lessons from my successes and my mistakes and my failures. So that's what I would do. Winja Turet asks, do you know how Leafy is here had so much growth in a short time? This is an answer that most of you aren't going to like, but I'm going to preface it with this is a quote from a book called The Wizard's First Rule. And the Wizard's First Rule states that people are stupid. Now, soak that in for a minute because I know that sounds bad, but remember, that's not my quote. This is a book by Terry Goodkind that I'm quoting because I think it has an interesting thesis that I'll explain. But there are all these wizard rules. And the first wizard's rule is written in big letters that takes up a whole page by itself, and it prefaces that, quote unquote, people are stupid. That's the wizard's first rule. And it goes on to say that people are stupid because almost anyone will believe anything because they want to believe it's true or they are afraid that it is. Most people cannot discern the truth from a lie, but they are convinced they can, thus making them more easily fooled, and thus no one is immune. People are stupid. So that's the wizard's first rule. I preface that in the context of your question, how did Leafy is Here grow in such a short period of time? Leafy caters to an audience that is mostly use-driven and use-based, which means it's a less mature audience. Leafy does a lot of YouTube drama channel stuff, which means the growth hack of using big YouTubers in a thumbnail or in a name or roasting people. People watch entertainment, and people ultimately, if you look at human history, which is where the Wizard's First Rule is an epic fantasy novel thing, so it talks about human history and makes allegories to ancient Rome and other traditions and cultures. And so in the same way that people would watch Bloodsport, people would watch the Hunger Games, people watch people murder each other in the arena, the YouTube version of that is the YouTube drama channels and the YouTube roasting channels. And this is not me dissing Leafy, so if there's any like kids watching that are big fans of Leafy, if you spam my comments, I'm just gonna ban you, so shut up. Like, because I'm talking in an adult context of like the psychological thesis of YouTube drama channels like Leafy is Here. Like, I think that what he did is smart in the fact that he's doing low-hanging fruit that takes minimal effort and it's making him rich. So do I think that Leafy might be smart in that sense? Yeah. From a business standpoint, his channel is one of the most vulnerable to copyright and fair use, demonetization, flagging, and a lot of other things that could negatively impact those revenues. So I think that it's a high risk, high reward thing. So in the same way that I don't necessarily love people in Wall Street who make a lot of money, I still respect that they're smart enough to figure out a system that works and leverage it to their maximum advantage. So the businessman in me respects the revenue and the dollars, and the human in me realizes that's the manipulation of the least mature, the least smartest audience. Like, and it's not to say that his followers are stupid, it's that the Wizard's First Rule states that everybody, the collective of humanity, is stupid at any given point in time for one reason or another. Every one of us has done something stupid at one point. And the least of that is the 5 minutes we spend watching anything on YouTube. So people who take advantage of that are actually really smart because they're putting the minimal amount of effort into growing and getting an audience that will make them the maximum amount of money. And it's easier to sell drama and entertainment and blood sport than it is to sell education and business, because Tony Robbins, one of the most successful people on earth and one of the greatest, most prolific public speakers, someone that's in the same pantheon as Oprah, has only 250,000 subscribers in YouTube, whereas the Leafys and the Scarces and the Drama Alerts have millions of subscribers. Tony Robbins only has 250,000 subscribers. Gary Vaynerchuk only has 300,000 subscribers. Marie Forleo, who might as well be the next Oprah and was a mentee of Oprah, learned at the feet of Oprah, only has 400,000 subscribers. So how do those people grow? 70% of the audience in YouTube is young people. Young people gravitate toward these channels that also talk about their celebrities. It's the gossip rag of their time. It's the gossip column of their time in video format. It's their version of TMZ. That stuff is just going to get more views, and that's the truth. And so that's why it grew in a short period of time, by catering to the largest audience of low-hanging fruit. Versus Hank Green and John Green aren't even as big on YouTube as them. You know? So that matters. Like Casey Neistat produces real films and the highest quality content on YouTube every single day, and yet the YouTube drama channels are within striking distance of Casey Neistat. And look at the quality between a Casey Neistat and these other channels, and yet their subscriber counts are on par. So the Wizard's First Rule applies here, that by psychologically pandering and catering to the vulnerabilities of what is entertaining and a weak audience into the blood sport of YouTube, you would make more money. But I don't believe in that. But it's true. The market is the market, and so that's a long answer, but that's an entire like psychological and history and business lecture on why YouTube drama channels work. But that's the reality of it. And so I that answers that question. It's a good question. I don't love that question just because I don't love those channels and I don't love that it works. But the market's the market. How do you convert views into subs? Well, there's a whole system of that, and I've actually addressed converting views into subs in multiple videos. So I would recommend just watching my How to Grow a YouTube Channel videos for Fridays. I have a whole playlist of them, and that's what I would say you need to do. But a lot of it comes down to, at the end of the video, asking for the subscription and also making the content worth subscribing to, using playlist, and marketing it more. So I'd say that matters. Ooh. Joel Jovane asks, any tips for a Christian-based channel? Interesting challenge. Christianity is one of the biggest major religions in the world. I wouldn't think it'd be a hard channel to grow. I think you have to address Christian themes. The biggest thing that you can sell is information and advice and conflict. A lot of Christians feel very conflicted. So deal with those conflicts and those answers, but preface it in the form of question, not in the form of you telling them what to do, but explore the question, I would say. And I would say ask the most controversial and conflicting questions that Christians might have. Like, they might have questions about relationships and dating and sex and children and family, and politics or workplace culture. Those are hard things. Provide some insights, but have a conversation and ask the question and ask for feedback and ask people to tell their stories in the comments. That would be my advice for a Christian channel. Is literally, there are so many channels that are Christian channels and in general faith-based channels that give too much advice that's a dictation, rather than a community-based thing and a grow-together-based thing and an open discussion and conversation. So I would say that part of that, but also part of that is create a safe place. Create a safe place, and I would say that one of the things you could grow, and it may not be your personality, but there's a whole audience of secular Christians that are undervalued, in the sense that there are secular Christians that believe very much in science and the rule of law and re-examining or challenging tradition. And if you're comfortable with that, I would say bring them into the fold and address that, to have conversation and civil debate, and your channel could grow off of that, because while you are leveraging conflict, you're not creating conflict. You're trying to address it in a meaningful and civil way. So that would be my advice for a Christian-based channel, is to go community-based. Make your content community-driven. Great question. How do you get over extreme shyness? Also, can I make videos without showing your face? You can actually make videos without showing your face. Tutorial channels are really good for this. You can screencast using something like Open Broadcast System, OBS. You can do that. Game players do it all the time. You could do voiceover and do film and shoot B-roll and shoot footage of the local community. You could also do slide decks. You could also do animation. So you could do those if you're shy, and I think that could be helpful. Resolute Baron asks, what do I have to say about clickbait? If you deliver a good video, Casey Neistat's thesis is really good for this. If you deliver a good video, it doesn't matter. If you deliver a good video and you deliver on the promise of the video and it's not misleading, then an attention-grabbing headline is valid. So that's my thesis of clickbait. Hank Green wrote a great article about this about a year ago, about how they did this for SciShow. And so clickbait is valid if you're delivering on a good video and you're getting it the most views, then I would say that that's fine. Over-aggressive clickbait, showing raunchy thumbnails, I don't agree with that. But I believe that using an attractive thumbnail and headline makes sense. I prefer to use search optimization because of evergreen content. But if your content isn't evergreen, that could matter. You've lost 70 subs because the YouTube subscriber takeaway. How do you restore your growth because it's still going down? Sometimes YouTube purges people who drop off or inactive or fake subscribers, but you can. But I would say don't worry about it. Just focus on getting new people by doing great content. Have you built a magazine before? Not a successful one. Me and some friends in college tried a venture for an online magazine around anime and geek culture, and it would have been successful, but the work ethic wasn't there. I'm not going to blame people. I'm going to say that not everyone's work ethic was equal, and that it takes a team effort to successfully do a venture like that. And thus, for the people involved, it was doomed to fail, and I should have known better. And it's a lesson learned, and it's why I started learning how to do content as a one-man band and do everything as a one-man band, because me and some friends tried to do YouTube channel stuff before and tried to do filmmaking stuff before, and that didn't work out because the work ethic wasn't there, the team wasn't gelling, and thus I learned to just do everything myself and rely on myself. And now I'm learning to outsource to part-time employees, and that will be a bigger part of the business next year. Next year, I might take on one full-time employee or at least an apprentice. And so, but that'll be when I move to Atlanta. So that's something that I would say about that. I need to address and go down and do videos. Probably in my Dear Entrepreneur series, I probably need to do a video that addresses all my failures, or the ones that I can remember. So yeah. I don't do shout outs. What advice would you give for international YouTubers? Great question. The English language is preferential in YouTube, but against that, closed captioning can work, subtitles can work, so I would explore that. Also, content that doesn't need to live off of the voiceover part of it, the verbals, could be very good for an international YouTuber. Sean McKenna's Tech. Hey, Roberto, should I move my Tech Lab Blab show to YouTube? I 100% believe you should. I really do. I believe that has the most value long-term for you. It's an archive of your body of work, and I believe it will make you the most money and grow your brand and your business. So yeah, Sean McKenna, I would move your show from Blab to YouTube. By any means, do you know YouTubers' popularity by language? Would it help if you can speak more than one language? Thanks, fam. All right, so Vikari, I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. The data suggests that it preferences English, Arabic, and Spanish. That's what the data indicates, but take that with a grain of salt. English, Arabic, and Spanish, but take that with a grain of salt. That may not always translate into something actionable for you, but that's what the data reflects. So the real answer is I can't guarantee it. I don't know, but the data suggests English, Arabic, and Spanish. And those are the biggest growing audiences. Rosa, my email is usually in my videos, but you can go to my website, robertoblake.com, and you can contact me through there. You can DM me on Twitter @RobertoBlake. And so, yeah. And if any of you want to do paid one-on-one consulting with me, you want to hire me to help me grow your business or do video marketing stuff with you and teach you the ins and outs of that, you need the one-on-one coaching and you can pay for it, then feel free to reach out to me one-on-one to work with me on that. That is a service that I offer. Quartz Gamer asks, Roberto, do you know anybody who does profile pics and banners for free? I really don't, because most of the people I know are older, so everything they do a lot of it for money, and the exception is when they're doing it for leverage. And leverage is if there's a channel with 100,000 subscribers or a business guru that they want advice from. People offer, I don't have to ask for it a lot of times. People will offer, or if I make hey, I'd like some help with doing something, people will offer to do it for me for free, because it's a way for them to offset the cost of one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, which is hundreds of dollars per hour. They offer to do work in exchange for that would be equivalent in order to get that advice and that one-on-one help for me and more access to me. And I'm a big fan of bartering like that. Even though I make more money just charging for my services, I like the relationship value. And then for me, if they're good, I can refer them to a business client and I might get a finder's fee. So that's actually very lucrative for me from a recruiting standpoint. And so my answer to you is to find people, maybe ask people you know that are friends that have the talent, or find college students that are into it, or trade. Trade somebody. Don't ask for it for free. Trade them something. Trade them something you can do. Trading is the real thing to do. There are people in my community who want to say thank you, who will do things for me, and they might not ask for a trade, but then I'll do something nice for them just because that's who I am. But that's how I feel about it. Roberto, if YouTube does not revenue, if you are not ultra famous, what is the best way when you want to be on YouTube no matter what? Where is that coming from for you? So Drunk Slain, I make revenue in a lot of ways because before YouTube, I was making money as a freelancer anyway, doing a lot of things. As it is, I do a lot of things outside of YouTube that make me a lot more money than YouTube guarantees me, but I use YouTube as marketing leverage for more of those services. I use YouTube to get public speaking, to get writing deals for online publications and print publications. I do the sponsorships, and yeah, I get the affiliate revenue and the ad revenues, and that works out great for me. But I also do video production for public speakers. I do video editing for public speakers and for other brands and things like that. And I make hundreds of dollars an hour doing that. And I do consulting. So I make a ton of money off of that. I use YouTube to market those services and demonstrate that I'm good at it. I used to use it to do more design stuff, but now I use that only when I want to negotiate higher brand creation stuff that's thousands of dollars to do a identity package and to do the entire branding scheme. And that's also a lot of hours of consulting. So that's thousands of dollars instead of hundreds of dollars. And that's how I do it and where I make money there. But I only do that a couple of times out of the year. And that's all I really want to do with it, because I'd rather manage a creative team than do the creative Photoshop stuff myself a lot of times. I'd rather do the storyboarding, the visioning, the consulting, and do the business angle of it and be with the client in the boardroom mapping out a marketing and messaging strategy than sitting in Photoshop executing on it, because I'm a 95 at strategy versus an 85 at the design and Photoshop branding, even though 85 is still better than the majority of the marketplace. And so I made YouTube practical. My answer to you is you have to figure out what makes it practical for you. And you don't have to be ultra famous. The way you make a full-time living on YouTube, here's the secret to making a full-time living on YouTube. Get 500,000 views to 1 million views a month, a certain percentage that will be monetized, and that's enough ad revenue to equal a corporate salary of over $30,000 a year plus. If you get 500,000 to 1 million views and you're monetizing the majority of your content, and again, 500,000 to 1 million per month, mind you. And yeah, that might take a lot of work. You might have to make a crap ton of content. That's what I did. Or you might have to make a lot of content that's successful. But that's the number. It's not subscribers. No one makes money off subscribers. It's views because of ad revenue, just like television. So that's the answer, is 500,000 to 1 million views. You can live off of that comfortably if you're comfortable with $30,000 to $50,000 a year. But keep in mind that might not be enough because it's not a W-2. So your taxes against that, depending on what you invested to make that money, could be significant. And if you don't have an LLC, you'll get taxed more. And so it might need to be more. So that's my advice there. Speaking of ads, we're going to play another one, because I forgot to do that early in the stream, and ads make me money. So I would say that matters. We're gonna close up here in 5 minutes because 5-minute warning. I'm gonna just type that in, 5-minute warning, for the simple fact that it's been over 2 hours. The spam, yeah, the spam should be being blocked by my automatic filters over time. So I'm trying to deal with that. Let's see what else is going on. Can one do paid video at the beginning? I'm not sure. Fun with Bugs says FoozyTube equals clickbait. Maybe. I don't watch FoozyTube. I only found out about FoozyTube 3 months ago. I don't watch big YouTubers. Believe it or not, it's weird. Do you know how to see what games are trending? Use use Google Trends, google.com/trends, and that will probably do it. Do you recommend AdWords when you're still a channel that is building a list? If you're building an email list, maybe. If you're building an email list, maybe. Cam G, how do you deal with face cam videos? I just do. Gamer Girls Network says YouTube has some music under the Creator tab in Video Manager, and you use Epidemic Sound, but it requires a yearly fee. Roberto talks about audio blocks too. Yes, I do. That requires payment too, and that matters. Family Invasion acts Marvel or DC. DC has the better television shows. Marvel has the better movies. They're both equal in comics. I prefer Marvel because the comics are more real and gritty and the characters are more believable. DC is practically high fantasy. You lose subs all the time. Yep, that happens. Any tips for a music channel? Distribution. Make live content and distribute it in social media, and maybe have some interesting visuals. Joshua Crawford says, your tips have helped me reach 700 subs in 2 months, so thank you. I should hit your first 1,000 subscribers too. Awesome. That's actually not normal. Most people take considerably longer to get there. Let's see. Someone is asking, when am I moving to Atlanta? Sometime in next summer. I do collabs with people based on the quality of their content and whether I think it has value to my audience to teach my audience something. It's not about subscriber count. I don't care. I've done stuff with people who have less than 1,000 subscribers if their content is valuable to my audience. And a lot of times that has more to do with people that are a professional. Steve V. Gaming asks, should I continue to make my series that people like and that is making my channel popular? Yes, but you should also diversify your content so you don't get trapped. Let's see. How many subs should you have before you start doing sponsorships? It depends on what the sponsors are looking for and has more to do with the average views per video or the average views per type of video for that sponsorship versus the subscriber count. But most companies won't pay attention to you if you don't have 10,000 or more. But I've known YouTubers with 1,000 subscribers to get sponsorships. So it all depends. All depends. Uploading for Final Cut Pro to YouTube, how to speed up the process. Faster internet connection is the answer more than anything. But also, I don't think uploading from Final Cut Pro to YouTube does it as fast as just uploading it from your desktop to YouTube. So that's my answer, Tracy Coretta, is upload it from your desktop to YouTube. That'll probably be faster. But I just bought the fastest internet connection that I possibly could, and that was the difference. But now I need to buy a faster wireless card, and then I need to buy a faster router and a faster modem, and that will make my uploads even faster and my streaming even faster and better quality for you guys. But I have the most expensive internet connection I could possibly have. So yeah. Michael Grand says DaVinci Resolve is also really good for free editing. I 110% agree. So that matters. Slug Life says make a reaction channel and you're guaranteed to get over 1,000 subscribers in a month. But you're also, if you do a reaction channel, you're going to be subjected to possibly copyright climb and fair use stuff, and your channel will be more vulnerable. Plus reaction channels, I'm not trying to be aggressive in saying this, but it's the laziest type of content you can do because it's not original content. Reaction channels are the laziest type of content you can do, versus if you did a review channel of like television or games, that's different because then you're doing almost like a news channel. So reaction channels are the laziest way to grow a YouTube audience. It works, it makes money, but eventually YouTube might put the kibosh on that, and what do you do then? It's not stable or sustainable. And I believe in stable and sustainable because I'm a business person. So if you want to be YouTube famous, you can do what some people have done, and you can do reaction channels, you can do roast channels, you can do drama channels, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get an audience of the lower hanging fruit of people who want to be entertained, maybe the least educated people. It could be a very volatile audience that could turn on you at the drop of a dime. And again, I don't believe in those things because I don't think that they work long term. And they also, when you grow up and you grow out of that and you're tired of it, you're trapped. You're trapped. And so I don't believe in it. And that's why I don't believe in any of that. How many subs should you have to go full time, says Runaway Gaber. I cannot reiterate this enough that sub count is irrelevant. Views are the only things that make you money. And thus, views are how you go full-time. And I broke down that it takes 500,000 to 1 million views enough to even have a chance at making enough ad revenue to equate to the salary of a 9-to-5 job. And you'd have to have that consistently. And that's the only way you can afford to go full-time unless you're getting a ton of sponsorship or you build a business that sells things, because subscriber count doesn't matter. I have friends that have 10,000 subscribers that have 6-figure businesses tied to their channel, and that's why they use that. I have friends who have 50,000 subscribers that have 6-figure businesses. I have friends with 100,000 subscribers that have 7-figure businesses. Friends that have 50,000 subscribers that have 7- and 8-figure businesses. Subscriber count doesn't matter. It's about building a business. I can't understand why people don't understand that. And I think it's because they watch YouTubers that are big, that are entertainers, but that's like being an actor. You realize how what the percentage is of being a successful actor? So the success of being a successful entertainment YouTuber is like really not great. But YouTube is great for building a brand and building a business and building a publication or a news thing or a show and products and services and distribution, because you'd have to pay to have ads on television. YouTube, you make money being on YouTube versus paying for ads to grow. So that's my answer. Google Trends will tell you what websites, what games are trending. Google.com/trends, and then do a search. Yeah, you see a lot of 10-minute plus videos for extra money, longer content, but less people usually watch. It depends on the content, because tutorial channels and beauty channels that are applying a process do longer content and are much more successful. List video channels make it and do much more successful. Music channels do it longer and make more money and they're more successful. And people watch those all the way through. So you can't say shorter videos just perform better, because it's just not true. And it's not just the algorithm. It's depending on the audience. TubeBuddy will tell you the time to post videos for your... Yeah, Paulus, how are you? Mike Polis. We just had a thing earlier. Yeah, TubeBuddy... which, again, tubebuddy.com/awesome. You can go grab that tool. I recommend the paid version. Yes, I do make money when you buy it, but you will actually make a more successful channel that has a shot at making money if you use it, because that's what I do. Whoops. But TubeBuddy is a really good tool, and it doesn't just help you with the YouTube SEO. It also helps you with analyzing competitors, what time is best to upload for your type of content based on your audience and when they watch, and there's a lot of other data that it tells you, so TubeBuddy is super smart. Are blogs still trending? If you are an entertaining person, a vlog will do well. If you're not an entertaining person or don't have something unique, vlogs won't do well. My vlog series, Dear Entrepreneurs, I'm getting ready to bring that back more often, but it's not about how many views or whatever I get on that. That's a community-based show, and it's a show that is personality-driven for me, and also gives me more credibility and leverage in the business world. And Adobe actually told me that they love my Dear Entrepreneur series because it's one of the most unique things they've seen done with their Adobe Premiere Clip software. And so I'm actually going to be doing a workshop at Adobe Max about my Dear Entrepreneur vlog. Even though that doesn't get as many views as my other content, that vlog is popular enough with the right people and with the people at Adobe to where it got me a free ticket to a conference that I would have to pay $1,500 for, and they're also going to cover my flight and travel. So a vlog that nobody watches got me a trip that would cost me thousands of dollars, and another part of a relationship with another department in one of the companies that I grew up with, and that is one of the most powerful creative companies in the world. I have a deeper relationship. I'll get to teach a workshop at their conference about mobile video and doing video and editing it on your smartphone, because I did a series that I edited on my smartphone, shot and edited on my smartphone, that nobody watches, quote unquote, but the right viewers watch because the staff at Adobe was watching. So I have the 1,000 or 2,000 views I get on a Dear Entrepreneurs video. That's like, oh, you got 150,000 subscribers. How is it only 2,000 videos people watch your video? Well, only 2,000 people watch my videos, but if 5 of them are people at one of the most powerful companies in the world, that matters. Hashtag modest brag. But again, I don't say that to be braggy. I say that to inspire you that if 100 people watch your video, one of them is the right view, it could change your life. One of them could be the person that hires you or gives you a gig that then turns into the biggest moment of your life. So that matters. Some reasons why you may not monetize videos is early on, if you haven't done a lot of content and you don't have a lot of credibility yet, people may not watch your content because of the ads in front of it. So early on, probably not so much. Later, when you've proven yourself or when you got enough views to where it helps, then that might matter. So that matters. JBro129 Gaming says, your tips helped me get to 30,000 subscribers and over 5 million views, so thank you. And what is your opinion of clickbait? Is it a good idea? Clickbait is only good if you're not deceiving your audience and you deliver on the promise of the video and you deliver a good video. But clickbait, as I defined it, might be a very attractive or catchy thumbnail and a not searchable but attractive title that will spark curiosity is what I consider as clickbait, but it's not a bad thing if it delivers on that. If it's clickbait that misleads people, then it's trash and I don't like it. That's my opinion. Posting time depends on your content and audience. Yes, and TubeBuddy can tell you what the best time to post is. TubeBuddy.com/awesome. Get it. Get it now. Tips for video promotion as a really small channel. Distribute in social media channels where an audience values the type of content that you do. And so promote and distribute there. Facebook groups, do not be spammy, and put some context around why they should watch it. Tell them why they should watch it. It's not, oh, I think I do great videos or I think I work hard. What is the absolute value that a person gets out of watching this video? For example, you guys are learning how to grow a small YouTube channel. You're getting direct answers to your questions. And so that's the value of you watching this video versus, oh, I want to talk to you guys, or I'm live, or hey, I'm here hanging out. Like, that's not a reason to watch my videos. The reason to watch my videos is they help you do something. So you have to have a reason. VIP Beauty News and Fashion says, I love your honesty and your frankness. Oh, well, thank you so much for that. Not everyone is a fan of plain speaking. What is your deal about crappy audio? Try to get the audio as good as you can. It's not always easy. If you have a DSLR and you have the money, Rode Video Mic Pro is a good option, but it's $250. That might be too expensive. The majority of my YouTube audio is done with a $20 Sony lapel mic. I can't reach it from here, but it's a $20 microphone that I clip on. If you go to my YouTube thing, robertoblake.com/YouTube setup, you'll see the list of everything I use in Amazon. All of you will be surprised how cheap the equipment I use is. Now, the audio for this might not be great because live streaming, it's a trade-off on audio. The recording might be better, but I'm using an Audio-Technica ATR 2100. That's a $50 microphone. It's pretty good. You can get a Yeti for $100. You can get a Rode Podcaster for $200, and then that would be, great audio. But for just doing straight-up YouTube videos, plugging into your camcorder or your DSLR like I use with a $20 or $15 microphone, world of difference, and it's great audio. So that's what I do. And it's straight in there, so I don't have to sync it with a clap or anything like that. And so that's what I do. So that's my advice. I would just like to get to 1,000 subscribers. Fifius, watch my how to get 100 subscribers on YouTube and watch my how to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and watch the 100 videos I've done on how to grow a YouTube channel. And then you probably have a better chance at getting 1,000 subscribers. How to use TubeBuddy effectively. Watch my YouTube channel review series, my YouTube TubeBuddy 30 of 30 series. That will help you. I also will have upcoming tutorials on TubeBuddy. Also, TubeBuddy has tutorials on their YouTube channel. How often should you post if you have 100 subscribers? As much as you can. Yes, as much as you can. Without giving up quality. Yep. All right, and real quick, I'm going to play another ad, and then I'm just going to answer maybe 3 more questions, and we're going to go. So TechMash says that the newer NW700 is pretty good bang for the buck as well. I agree, as well as the Sony EMC30, which you can find in my my little thing on how on my YouTube setup, which I'll leave another link. robertoblake.com/YouTube setup. And those are Amazon affiliate links, so that does help out the channel, but that will definitely help you guys see that my system is affordable. Everything I have there is something you can afford to buy or that you can save up for. One of the best live feeds, answers so many people's questions here. Thanks, Roberto. Oh, thank you so much. Fun with bugs. Yeah, no problem. Some of my comments are showing up and others aren't. My spam filtering is super aggressive, so even things that probably shouldn't be spam might be Pamela. So I'm sorry about that, but I had to do that because of like my trolls and things like that. So sometimes that happens, so I apologize. How to be comfortable making videos. I actually did a video with Holly G Studios. It was a collab video. It's in my YouTube growth series on 5 tips for becoming comfortable on camera. So you should definitely check that out. Should you upload daily? If the quality is good and you have the ability to sustain it, uploading daily can help you. If your quality sucks, uploading daily will not help you, Runaway Gamer. And if you're not doing interesting content, uploading daily will not help you. VIP News and Fashion says, okay, thought of a question. What is the advantage of live streaming? The advantage of live streaming is community content. It's long form content. It can help the algorithm. YouTube is aggressively promoting YouTube Live, so it can help you get attention. You might get new subscribers, so it can jump that. You might get new ideas for content out of that. And it helps watch time and authority, and it can help session watch time, so it could rank your authority better than YouTube. And it could also be a good way to get to know your audience. Your audience might be more loyal if they know about the fact that you're live streaming, so that can help you, and it does give you high engagement rate. So all of those things. Do you have any tips on keeping consistent uploading during school? Shoot a bunch of videos in the weekend in advance. Edit a bunch of videos on the weekend in advance. Release them 1 video or 2 videos a week. Schedule and upload them in advance and set them on a timer so that they release. And that will do it. And Pamela, not everyone will see an ad every time when I push the button. So that actually happens. What I will do in the future probably is I'll probably remind myself and set a 15-minute timer. And like every 10 or 15 minutes, I'll play an ad, because that actually could be very good for me revenue-wise. I hadn't thought of that yet. So that could be interesting. So I think that might be a smart thing, and that could be a good thing for you guys to do for live streaming, and that could make you a lot of money depending on how many people watch your live streams. And then it could also help in the replay too. So that's interesting. I think that could be interesting. Let's see. Love your videos. How do you record yourself with great computer quality? So when I'm doing live stream, I'm using a Logitech C920. When I'm recording myself here in the office, I use my Nikon D3200 or my Panasonic Lumix G7. So again, I have that in my YouTube setup, which is robertoblake.com/YouTube setup. All my gear is listed there. It's mostly super affordable stuff. robertoblake.com/YouTube setup. Boom. Let's see. What made you get into YouTube? Wanted to do helpful content. I grew up watching Bob Ross and LeVar Burton. I'm a YouTube educator. I do tutorials. That's what I'm in it for. I'm in it to teach people, and I'm like, learn stuff and work hard. Learn stuff and work hard. I sell the least sexy product in YouTube, learning stuff and working hard, which is why I have 100,000 plus subscribers and not 1 million subscribers. If I was a Star Wars YouTuber, I'd probably be at 1 million subscribers, because I'm probably the biggest Star Wars nerd there is. I know almost everything about the extended universe. I just don't speak Wookiee. What happens if YouTube stops letting you upload? I still have my business, and I have a YouTube manager, so YouTube probably won't stop letting me upload, because I'll just call somebody at YouTube and I'll get that stuff sorted out. They like my content. They like that I'm an educator. And so I still have a very profitable personal brand and business. I still did almost 20 speaking engagements this year. A ton of consulting. I still have my email list, and I'm growing it, which is why I encourage people to do an email list. I still have my thousands of people over on Twitter, which is like over 10,000. I still have thousands of people over on Facebook. I have 14,000 in Periscope. I still have other platforms. I built a personal brand. I still have my website. I still have my other social media channels. I still have my micro niche sites that I'll do more affiliate marketing in the future. I'm about to do a niche site that's all about teaching you how to build websites from scratch using HTML or WordPress or builders, and I'll make literally hundreds of dollars a day, if not hundreds of dollars a week, off of that based on affiliate marketing for 4 major web hosting companies: Wix, Namecheap, HostGator, Bluehost, and so I will make a lot of money from that. I still do hundreds of dollars an hour in consulting, public speaking, writing deals, other affiliate marketing systems, and then next year, Create Awesome Media, which is my production company, will actually start producing more content on new channels that I'll have ownership of, where I hire talent, and thus I'll own other YouTube channels, but it'll be talent, and then they'll get a portion of the revenue plus a salary to be the talent, and we'll be producing their content for them, because maybe they don't know how to start. I'll be able to negotiate brand deals for them, and then I'll do a rev share model on that. And so unlike a YouTube multi-channel network, I'll just become a media company, and thus I will own other YouTube channels and intellectual property. I'll be producing shows. I'll probably actually also own a Snapchat channel and an Instagram brand that has other influencers underneath it as an umbrella, And so those are sub-intellectual properties, which means it's a long game. And the idea is that by reverse engineering what I already know, over a 3-year period on any of those intellectual properties, I can grow it to a 6-figure IP business, if not more, in a 2 to 3 year period with a minimal of investment, probably only an initial $15,000 a year in investment for growing a new intellectual property. And over the course of it'll break even its own year for sure, because I'm good enough to do that just on the sponsorship side and negotiation, and then ad revenues. But over a 2 to 3 year period, I know I can use the same system I use to scale myself, to scale a new intellectual property channel to a 6-figure business model off of that. Plus, I'll probably sell more sponsorship inventory against a sub channel like that, meaning that if I built a channel that is a student survival guide for college channel by hiring a high schooler to be the face of the channel and to do how-to and vlogging content around being in college, buying books, everything you need to know to survive as a college student, I'll get massive traction there, and then I can get major sponsorship opportunities, sell inventory against that for decent money, even with a low subscriber or view count because of existing relationships and my negotiations as a businessman. Also bundle that with sponsorship against my own channel to sweeten the pot, and then do that, rinse and repeat. And then I can build out 3 YouTube channels over the course of 3 years, only invest $45,000 into that, but over the course of 2 to 1, break even first year on all of them at $1,500 break even easy each. Then off of that, grow and scale them over 2 to 3 more years into 6-figure businesses on their own of a minimum of $150,000 channels each, based off of a combination of affiliate marketing, sponsorship, ad revenue, and then other deals. And then that means that by growing and investing in 3 channels that I'm not the face of, I can probably turn around a 10x on each of them. And so that's my answer. And I know that was a super complicated business lecture thing just now, but that's my answer to, like, if for whatever reason something happened with my YouTube channel, I'm still a very successful marketer and a very successful businessman and have a ton of relationships, and thus that matters. There's no answer to how to become a big YouTuber, and in my opinion, being a big YouTuber is irrelevant. Being successful at building a brand and a business is the most relevant thing you can do, and that being a big YouTuber is a consequence of doing very good content and building a community and doing good content, and thus growing and building a real brand. So that matters. Oh, you know what? The description, all right, the messaging is filtering my own links when I post them, because I actually filtered that for other people too, because of spammers, because I didn't want people to get you with phishing scams. So because that was happening, so I actually dealt with that, and that's why it's not showing up in my own comments. So that matters. But the links to everything that I'm telling you guys are in the description of this video. So if you check out the description of this video, all the links are there. You know. So that's what matters. Yep. All right, guys. So that's it for this live stream. This is the first official YouTube live Q&A for the month of October, and I guess I'll do another one in November. And so after this video is done, in the comments, I'd love questions that you would like me to address early on for the next Q&A. Those could be things, but I might make videos about that based on your questions. So after this live stream is done, I want you guys to come back, watch through some of the content, but also leave me comments with your questions to make more videos to help small YouTubers. Ask me those questions in the comments after this video is done streaming, because that will actually help me and it'll help all of you. And so I'll be able to answer those questions. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the love and for sharing this out and for sticking around for 2.5 hours. I really did not mean to do a 2.5 hour live stream. I really did not mean to do a 2.5 Q&A. It was meant to be an hour and to be 90 minutes at the most. I really did not mean to do that. But you guys are awesome, and you guys bring out the best of my growth hacks, so I super appreciate it. I don't know at which point you're not considered a small channel, maybe 50 to 100,000 subscribers, but it doesn't matter. It's all about community and building audience and building good content and building a real brand or a real business and marketing yourself and revenue generating activities. There will be a tutorial. Someone asked about how to make a good thumbnail. I'll do a tutorial about it. That'll come soon. I'll look for a tutorial on thumbnails next week. I'll have to do more than one because I'll have to do it with multiple apps because not everyone has Photoshop. But new tutorials will come. You want to sell yourself as a comic writer on YouTube, then make comic skits and make a comic show. Make something like Key and Peele, Keenan and Kel. Make sure you're marketing that you do all the writing, and that's how you market yourself as a comedy writer and use YouTube as leverage, is produce an actual show and show off your writing chops. That would be my answer. The answer would be the same thing for a filmmaker. So that's my answer. Tech Mash. You got 2 hours of video, man. Watch the replay because I'm going to leave the replay up forever for you guys. So you got 2.5 hours of a live stream. This is something I think I can only do once a month. I don't think I can do it once a week. Maybe I can do it twice a month tops. We will see. So, you know, that's what I'll do. Again, thank you guys so much. Stay awesome. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to play one more ad, say some goodbyes, and then we're going to close out. And I'm just going to remind you where you can find all the resource links I talked about. So again, thank you guys so much. Some of you are seeing an ad, some of you aren't. But the Q&A will be up indefinitely for those of you who missed it early on. I answer a ton of questions. God, I think like it says that we averaged 19 messages a minute. So that means that I answered a ton of questions here. I probably answered 100 questions in this video, if not more. So you'll definitely want to do that. There is a channel in the YouTube 30 of 30 series that hasn't been released yet that is a drawing and art channel. I think there's actually 2. So there will be a review of something like that. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. So guys, definitely catch the replay. I'm going to leave the replay up for you guys. I will do that for just about all of my live streams as long as nothing bad ever happens with them. I will do the replays. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the great questions. Leave more questions in the comments after this is done and the replay is up. And remember to reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Twitter. You can also go to robertoblake.com/newsletter. Sign up for the free Create Awesome Community newsletter. You get some free ebooks out of me with that. You also get links to all of my resources and the things I use to grow. And so that could be really helpful for you guys. You also get motivational stuff from me every week, you know, with that. And again, not all of you will see ads, so don't worry about it. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. You guys are all awesome. I love you, and I super appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. You could have been doing other things. So again, thanks so much for taking the time, and just remember, create something awesome today. Take care.